Here tonight. Okay, once I get the screen set up, I can look at my cameras above screen here, so bear with me and I'll be with y'all in a second. All right, we are streaming to YouTube, so I'm ready to go. Hey, listen, guys, I got some slides I want to share with you, and we're going to take some questions. So our setup is first 30 minutes is content, second 30 minutes is Q&A. All right, we don't have to do 30 of Q&A, but we are going to limit it to 30 of Q&A. So let's get in for sake of everyone's time. We got a lot of important things to do in life. We don't need to necessarily be sitting in a Zoom, but I'm here to bring value. And so I say, Coach, I got my coach outfit on today. I just don't have a whistle. But hey, listen, here's what it all boils down to. We are teaching what we're preaching what we're doing, and we're teaching what we're preaching, and preaching out in our local market. And I want to share with you some things that you can do to increase your odds of having success, increase your odds of earning a significant income. And that's what this is all about. And for those who want to lead local, that's a different distinction. Some people want to just be part-time brokers and periodically do something. Others want to be part-time leaders, and they actually want to own a marketplace, and they want to lead that marketplace. And eventually they'd like that marketplace to turn them into full-time. Step one, arrive 5 minutes early. That's step one of being a local leader, because you'll miss things if you're not, and your team knows you're here or not here. So you want to arrive early. Okay. That's part one of being a leader, is arrive early. Okay. But we're going to be going through a lot of stuff today. I got some screens to share with you. So I'm going to get my screen sharing going on. Bear with me 1 minute. You can ignore that. Let's go right here. Local leader plan. Here we go. This is the one we got. All right. You get to see my slides there, right? All right.
Yep, we see it.
Thank you, buddy. I'm going to stop periodically and just talk. But other times I'm going to be going through slides. So here's the most important thing to begin. As you're talking about monopolizing your marketplace, do y'all know what a monopoly is? It means when you have an unfair advantage and other competition can't come in and take over. And that's what we want to help you do. We want to help you to monopolize your marketplace. It's an unfair advantage where all the other funders wouldn't be able to come in and take your territory. They'd have to have boots on the ground like you, right? But the only way you do that is really being local. If you're trying to build in cities outside of yours, you are competing with other people, and you're doing distance building. So local is always going to win because trust is established. I have had 5 funding clients reach out to me in the last week from banks locally, but it took almost 6 weeks to establish that trust. I'll be talking about that, but 5 this week. Relationships convert at higher levels. Referrals grow naturally. Renewals and stage funding happen more often. Brokers become known as funding experts. They become trusted and liked. Follow-up is simple because you're dealing with the same people over and over, and long-term income is established. No question. You can build nationally. You can build distance, but the problem is it's more difficult because you don't have that trust and you're competing with people who are really good at it, right? So national funding is a lane, local funding is a moat. What does that mean? Some of you have heard this. We've talked about some of these slides a couple times, but a moat is what a castle has built around it. And you remember in the cartoons and in real times too, they would build rivers around the castles, and in the cartoons, they'd throw crocodiles in it. And if you wanted to get to the king's castle, you'd have to be able to swim across that river or only go when that bridge was down, right? So there'd be guards on there not letting you cross when the bridge was down. So you can't get across the moat. It's a protection. Warren Buffett says, and he's the wealthiest investor there is. People have made more money than him, but through the stock market, come on. He's become one of the wealthiest men in the world by buying stock, not by starting companies or taking companies public. He's bought companies, right? And so and just rode the stock out. He buys stocks where he says they have a moat around them, a competitive advantage that you can't break into. And then you just buy and hold. He doesn't buy and sell. He buys and holds. And that stock grows 12% a year every year, doubles every 6 years and doubles every 6 years and doubles every 6 years. And before you know it, you've got millions of dollars from buying companies that are a moat. Well, how about creating a company with a moat? How about building your own local agency and have 50 to 100 fundings coming in your team every month in your local county? And you're making $250,000, $500,000 a year in overrides from a moat that you built yourself, instead of having to hopefully buy the right stock or take a company public or So this is what we're doing. You choose to compound your business. The strongest national growth happens by multiplying local markets, not by trying to grow in every state. You grow in every state by opening that market with the local leader. So a local market should produce 2 to 4 fundings per week. Let me slow that down. Should produce 2 to 4 fundings a week. And that includes overrides. So you can start making 2 to 4K a week. Now you got to get that market producing, right? You're going to need you and a few in that town actively working, not just involved. I can get 100 people to join on a list tonight. It's how many are going to be actively involved. That's what we're talking about. You and a few is all you need. So you're going to learn how to effectively lead one market. You're going to duplicate that into as many markets as you'd like. That is the strategy. Now you can buy into this or you can ignore it. Ignoring it, don't come back anymore to these local leaders. Don't read the local leader journey that went out. Many of you are ignoring the local leader journey. We sent it out 10 days in a row. I wrote them all and I've read them all. And I've read them and I've read them and I've read them. And I wrote them because we want to make sure we're using and speaking the same playbook. And the playbook is the email journey you got. And it's the 8-step process that is clicked to on I think it was day 8, that we linked to the 8-step process, right? So have you gone through every journey email and read it? And actually did the homework and actually said, okay, I'm going to do this. That's a Bible. That's $1 million game plan. Other companies would charge you thousands of dollars to buy their proven program. We give it for free. You just got to open the email and read it, right? So let's all step it up a little bit who aren't currently stepping up. Let's all be an example, not just say we want to be. Let's actually be it in private and dark. When you're in your closet, nobody knows what you're doing. Are you still following the local leader plan? When nobody sees you on the huddle, are you not on the huddle because you're busy hustling, or are you just busy just not being into it, right? And so if you're not going to be on the huddle, you better be busy hustling or working somewhere else, right? Or doing something right for your business. Otherwise, you're not replacing that job. And if you're here part-time to replace that job, we got to do the thing, right? So this is just real talk, right? I appreciate every one of you that are here tonight. You're volunteer. You are a volunteer in DAC. I'm speaking as coach tonight of what I'm doing every day, because I want to be an example in my town, but also I want you to win. We started this for you to win, right? So you got to lead by example. Number one, we've talked about these. I'm just going to refresh them again. Become certified, go through the funding training, comp plan training, daily huddles, set and work your plan. Okay. When you do your game plan, work it. You got to work that activity. You got to climb the ladder. You got to get certified, then GA3, 5, MGA, SGA, NMO, climb the ladder. You should all be shooting to climb the ladder. I look at Matt and Nick. They got a few more funding apps in this week, right? So that's awesome. They're being an example, climbing a ladder. Why do you want to climb the ladder? Keep in mind, you make more. This guy's making 60%, or this gal here. But keep in mind, when you enroll a team, not only do you make 60% on your own clients, but when you enroll a team, you get the difference between where you are and where they are. You enroll a new broker, they get $100,000 funding. They're making 40%. Let's say they make $3,200. They're pretty happy, aren't they? The person who got 100 grand. I just talked to one of my personal clients. She accepted $100,000 about 2 hours ago. That's awesome. She's ecstatic about that. She's ecstatic about taking that $100,000 funding. She just signed it 3 hours ago, right? I had another client apply yesterday who was declined. They're not eligible for funding. It happens both ways, right? But this client is ecstatic. They're getting 100 grand. The broker happens to be me. I'm ecstatic, but let's just say it's someone you introduced personally. They're making $3,200, but you're the enrollers. You make 4% no matter what. Doesn't matter where you are on this ladder, right? So if you're the local leader and you have 3 or 4 people you've personally enrolled, you're making 4% of all their funding on every funding, every single week, every single month, every single year for life. And even after you die, your business goes to your family, just like if you own a McDonald's restaurant. It is a business that wills on to your family. Right? So you're not building a job here. This isn't a part-time gig. This isn't a gig salad. This is where you're out there going, I'm building an industry moving. We just had a group a life insurance group and a tax prep group. Some of them are probably on today. 6,700 brokers they enrolled into our system today. 6,700 new brokers. Now, how many are going to get certified? I don't know. Maybe 500 to 1,000. I don't know. But the bottom line is word is getting out about DAC, and your timing is now to be a local leader. Now, this is the time to make an impact. Right now, your town needs you now. Someone's going to come into your town. So everybody you personally enroll, you're making 4% on. So you'd make on that 8,000, you make $320. How many, whoever enrolled me would be making $320. Keep yourselves muted, guys. Whoever recruited me would make 3,200 or $320 this week. If that doesn't excite you, if that doesn't get your blood going, come on, man. We gotta look at that. I didn't get paid anything when I worked at General Motors on anyone that I worked with there. I didn't get paid anything that anyone I trained there. I didn't get paid a dime for the people that started after me in my department that I was mentoring. I got nothing for that. Here, I get 4% of everyone I personally enroll minimum. That's why you want to be a local leader. You lead your town, you impact your town, you make a difference in your town, but you're also making 4%. And oh, by the way, if you're at the 60% level and they're at the 40, you make 20% more. So that's another big check, $1,600, right? You made $1,920 as I'm making $3,200 helping someone get a client. As the person got 100,000 ecstatic. If I could show you my text right now blowing up from the client who just signed that 100,000. I got like 10 texts from them in the last hour. They're ecstatic. So this is why you want to climb the ladder. The more you move up, the more you earn on your own clients and the more you earn on your agency. If you don't see the value yet of your 4%, and your override spreads, it's time you go watch the comp plan video again. Agency expansion, here you go. So here's the 8 steps. It's on our document. I'm going to blaze through these. You've already seen these. They're in the email journey, but I'm just going to give a refresher in case you're brand new and haven't gone through the journey yet. Choose a focus market, make it yours, own it, take responsibility for it. Build a local agency, 2 to 7 brokers locally certified. Find those ready to serve. They don't need to be experts. They just need to be willing. Train and activate them. But don't wait for them to join for you to start talking to clients yourself. Set up team communication. It doesn't do any good if you're not texting each other, Zooming each other, right? And discuss your weekly Canvas schedule. Discuss what you're going to do in town, who's networking where. This is how you monopolize your marketplace. To not do it means you allow a different DAC broker to come in and monopolize your marketplace. You will or they will. Someone will. Income game plans with each broker. Everyone you recruit personally, you do a game plan with them. It's right in our game plan team documents. Set a realistic conversation to application goal and talk to them about being an educator, not a salesperson. Educator, not a salesperson. Canvas the area and lead by an example yourself. Keep going until you get NMO. And 80%. I'm at the 80% level. It's pretty darn cool. I get a client, I make 80% of the bonus revenue instead of 40 or 50 or 60. And if I recruit a new broker, I get a 40% override instead of 40. That's why I don't mind. I don't get a salary. I'm okay with that because I earn a lot more in the DAC pay plan, the same pay plan you have, the same one you could take advantage of. It started with just me. I didn't have a team. I didn't have an organization. Well, David, you have everyone in your team. Yeah, I built everyone that's in our team. I recruited the person who recruited the person who brought in the 5,000 today. I recruited the person who brought in 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 the person, right? Or I partnered with that group who brought in the person. Or I partnered with that group who brought in the person. You get to do the same thing. Isn't that cool? But you get to just focus on that. You don't have to worry about corporate. That is awesome. Be a local leader and make it explode. Network in your local business community, your chambers, your BNI groups, your bank managers, get to know them all, invite people to events and go to events and keep replenishing your team because your team will not all produce. Won't all produce. If you have you and 3 who are getting after it each week, part-time, talking to clients every day, networking every day, meeting with bank managers every day, getting to know what different businesses on it, it's fun. If you're doing that every single day, you can take some weekends off or not. It's up to you. It's not like you're working 10-hour days. You work a couple hours a day, networking, a half-hour a day, talk to 4 businesses today. How long does that take you really? I'm doing it part-time right now, and it's multiplying massively in just 2 months. Duplicate into nearby towns. And here again, your 8 steps, download them if you haven't already. Lead by example, act out the 8 steps and review the email journeys that you got. Review them, print them out, and memorize them, right? Make sure you know them. So That's what review. But here's next. Here's what we haven't talked about yet. Local leader model, owning a market, building a moat. Number one, banks. I will tell you, I think the number's five. I know I said five. It may actually be six or seven businesses were referred to me in the last 8 days from banks. And one referred me a client yesterday. I haven't even met the bank yet. I only talked to them over the telephone and sent them the brochure. And an hour later, we scheduled a meeting to meet at Starbucks tomorrow. Hope it wasn't today. Yeah, it's tomorrow. We're meeting tomorrow at Starbucks in Milford, Michigan. And we set up the meeting. And then an hour later, I got a call from a client that they referred. Is that not cool? We hadn't even met yet. But you know what? He's seen me at the chamber meetings. He sees me around. He knows I'm local. He knows I care. I'm not just a telemarketer. Telemarketers, telemarketers, get out there and be local in your town. You'll have a moat and no one can touch it. So get to know them. Collateral, most businesses don't have it. They get it. Bank managers get it. You educate them, they get it. But if you go in there with commission breath, they won't refer you a soul. But if they know you care, watch what happens. A realistic local leader, here's the plan. You plus two committed partners can lead a market. That's it. You and two. You and two. Now, each targets one funding per month to start. You all want to get one funding a month per start. How do you do that? You educate a lot of businesses, and then you grow that to two fundings a month, right? And all that comes just by growing the awareness. Trust precedes volume always. They'll see your trust. They'll see you around. They'll believe it. It's like planting seeds in a garden. They grow. What does getting after it actually mean? Number one, warm market outreach every week. Every week, every business owner you need to be reaching out to them weekly. David, I'm not doing it. Okay, you're not a local leader. You are just involved. It's okay to be involved, but are you involved or are you engaged? Engaged is someone who says, I'm going to own this market. Local business education conversations every week. Every week you're educating a business. You're reaching out, hey, I just want to make sure you understand our funding so you can see how we're helping businesses in the community. I just want you to see what we're doing, why I joined this business so that you can see how I want to help businesses in our community. It's all focused on serving. That's what you do. Multiple meaningful conversations every week. Consistent recruiting conversations. How often? Every week. David, I don't want to do all that. No problem. You're not a local leader. You are just a peddler. You're in it. It's okay. It's okay to pedal slow. And I don't mean peddler like salesman. I mean, you're just pedaling. You're not grinding. You're just kind of pedaling. It's okay to mention it once in a while. But if you really want to have a moat, someone's going to come to your town with a moat. 3 traps to avoid. I talk to a lot of people who want to be local leaders. This is what they tell me. Here they are. Trap 1, activity without ownership. Trap 2, waiting to feel ready. And trap 3, delaying leadership responsibility. Let's go through them. Trap 1, activity without ownership. What is that? That's when somebody is busy, but they are not anchored, meaning they haven't said, this town's my responsibility. Milford, Michigan is my responsibility. So is Highland. It's my responsibility. Now, you may live in Milford. You may want to build Milford. You get to. And together, it's our responsibility. But to me, that's my responsibility to make sure every business in this town knows who DAC is and knows about our funding and how we can help them. It's my responsibility. I'm anchored. You send an occasional message. You have a few conversations here and there. You maybe even fund a deal or two, but you never decide that this is my market and I'm responsible for it. If you haven't decided this is my market and I'm responsible for it, you fall into the first trap, activity without ownership. There's no defined town. There's no defined list of businesses. There's no rhythm that you're following. There's no system you're following up on as far as, okay, here's the people I reached out to last week. Here's who I have to reach out to today. So activity happens, but nothing really compounds. You don't plant a flag. Activity without ownership feels productive, but it never creates momentum. Ownership is when you decide. Decide comes from a Greek word that meant decidere, I think it's pronounced, to cut away. Decide is actually to cut away all other options and have just this option. So when you decide, this is my market, I'm focused here. I'm not focused on Seattle. I may get a client in Seattle because I stumble onto someone, but I am focused on my town. I'm going to make sure everyone in my town tomorrow, who in my town haven't I met? What bank haven't I talked to? This is what we're doing. Part-time. I'm only doing it part-time, but it's fun. Ownership changes behavior. You stop cherry picking. You stop waiting for perfect leads. Where's the leads? How do you buy leads? You don't. You own your local market. You be neighborly and you'll kick butt. Buy leads, you'll lose money. We've seen thousands of people come through this program buying leads. Well, not buying leads, but thousands come in. And most all say, if I had good leads, if I had good leads, I tell you, David, if you had a lead program, I tell you. So you know what? I've spent over $150,000 on ad lead programs, all these things over the last 10 years, trying to find one that could work. But you know what works? Your local market domination costs you nothing. It's be a good neighbor. That's it. You start tracking, following up, and stewarding. That's what ownership behavior looks like. Why it matters. Without ownership, guess what? Does not accumulate. It does when you do it this way. Why did that bank manager refer me before I've even met him? Because he's seen me at 3 chamber meetings in the last month. And I've said, hi, hi, hi. That's why. He knows I'm real. He knows I'm local, and he's heard wind by talking to other banks. They all know each other. They know that David's for real. They know that I'll even refer someone to them if they are eligible for bank funding instead of taking them and cherry picking and going, I'm going to make a big commission. Trust doesn't accumulate if you don't build local. Referrals don't snowball if you don't build local. Banks don't recognize you if you don't build local. Chambers don't remember if you don't build local. Businesses don't call you first if you don't build local. You're just another name, another text, another phone call, another email. You can win that way, but you got to talk to 20 or 30 times as many people. Or you just build local. Waiting to feel ready is trap number 2. What that does look like. This trap sounds responsible. I'm waiting until I'm ready, but it's actually fear of producing, fear of moving forward, right? You say, I want to learn more first. I need to watch the training again. I don't feel confident explaining funding yet. What if they ask questions I can't answer? So you delay, right? It's the most common trap there is. Readiness doesn't come before conversations. It never has. Get yourself certified and go. And when you don't know, say, I don't know. I'll find out for you. Confidence is built in the field, not in the LMS. You'll get knowledge in the LMS, but confidence only occurs after courage, after you start, after you move. David, I don't have that. Well, you need to get that. Oh, I don't have that, David. Then tag team with someone else. Go out with another buddy and watch them do it and learn through their experience. Or I'm asking you to step out of that zone of comfort and go. And it's okay to say, I don't know. In fact, you need to say, I don't know a lot. That's a good thing. That means you're growing a lot. If you're not saying, I don't know, or feeling, I don't know, then you're not growing. You're still in the lab learning, still in the lab learning, still in the lab learning. Let's not do that. We're going to stop that, right? We're going to step out of that. Trap's dangerous because markets don't wait. While someone's getting ready, another broker's becoming known in town. Another relationship is forming. Another educator is showing up consistently. And once trust forms, you're not breaking it. Business owners that I'm working with, you're not going to come in and get them to work with you. You won't. Business owners you're working with, I can't come in and get them to work with me. They've built trust in you, right? But if you don't do that, you just happen to be in a city and I come to that city or someone else comes to that city from DAC and they do all this stuff. This isn't hard work. This is fun work. This is just having conversations and educating. Having conversations and educating and hearing stories about businesses and having some fun brainstorming with them. Learn about their business. Have some fun getting to know their business a little bit more. It's fascinating to hear what people are doing. And once trust forms, you can't displace it. The market doesn't reward readiness. It rewards presence. Trustworthy presence. That's it. It's okay. There's someone in the networking group that I'm in. They're brand new to selling health insurance. Fairly new anyway, not brand new. Fairly new. And they don't know that I've marketed healthcare. So I understand health sharing. I understand insurance. I understand a lot of those things pretty good. Not like they do. And I'm watching them learn how to fly. And it's awesome because they show up every time and they have presence and they share. And you know what? I moved my vision over to them and I gave her a chance to win over my healthcare for my family, but she couldn't beat our health share pricing. So I stayed with our health share, but I gave her our vision, right? Because she could beat the vision we had. And I want to support her business because she's showing up, not because she's an expert, because she's showing up. Are you showing up? Show up. Market doesn't reward readiness. It rewards presence. We all want to support someone who's getting after it. And then number 3, delaying leadership responsibility, what it looks like. This trap shows when someone wants the benefits of leadership without the weight of it. I want the income of it, not the weight. I want the overrides. I don't want the weight. And I don't mean wait like time. I mean, I don't want to have to work with new brokers. I don't want to have to deal with brokers who say they're going to do something and don't do it. I don't want to have to work with clients who aren't going to get approved. I don't want to go to chamber meetings. I don't want to go to BNI meetings. I don't want to go to a coffee house and meet someone. I don't want to do that at all. Okay, well, then you don't want to be a leader. It's okay. You want to be a private agent, as Ellen talked about. You can be a private agent, but you won't make as much and you won't impact as much. We're here, you're on this local leader. This is a different group, right? You said you want to be a local leader. Uh, once I have more funding deals, then I'll lead. Once I'm more confident, I'll recruit. Once I know what I'm doing, I'll help others. I've heard that stuff for 30 years, literally 30 years. And the ones who make it never say those things. They don't even think those things. And like I said, if I waited, if I fell in this trap, DAC would have closed because we had about 15 fundings before I got my first one. What if you have 15 fundings waiting in your team on brokers you enroll, but you're like, I'm not enrolling any brokers till I prove this works? We've already proved it with thousands of businesses funded just this year, tens of thousands since we started. What do you need to prove? Maybe you haven't proved yet that you can talk to enough businesses and be trustworthy enough to get a client, but that'll happen in time. I was not effective enough of getting our first 15 clients. I just happened to be the guy with the idea who recruited a few brokers, and I believed in it enough because I was that business. So I told them what I believed, and they believed what I believed, and we shared what we believed with a few more people and a few more and a few more. And guess what? We got a bunch of fundings and it's continued to grow since, right? So don't wait. Don't fall in this trap. Kick the trap in the teeth. Leadership doesn't begin with when everything is figured out. Leadership begins the moment others are watching you move. Is anyone watching you move right now, or are they watching you sit? Right? Is your family watching you move or sit? You join DAC. Are they saying he's being a good example of a man in business? She's being a good example of a woman in business. She's actually attempting to succeed. She's not just educating, she's actually attempting to succeed. And I know some of you going, Dave, I love being a part of the company and I don't have any intention of being a big local leader. That's no problem. This is a voluntary business. But if you're saying I want to make it, then accountability. We reached out to my brother-in-law today. I said, listen, I don't know about you, but I've decided I'm getting in shape. And you inspired me 5 years ago with a program, and we both followed it. We both lost a bunch of weight quick. We got in the best shape of our lives, and we both kind of like grown on and, put it back. I said, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to go. And I don't know if you want to buddy up and do it, but he's like, dude, I started 2 months ago. I started in November. I'm already down 25 pounds. But yeah, you want to buddy up? Let's send our ways in each Monday and Friday, and let's commit to what we're going to do. And let's tell each other what we're doing. Let's buddy up. Right. Well, last week I wasn't ready. This week I'm ready. You may say, I'm ready to be a local leader now. I get it. I've already known all this stuff. I'm just not doing it. Maybe it's time you buddy up and do it. Right. Well, leadership by example means here going first, serving clients. Being consistent in your activity, setting tone and pace, modeling service and patience, encouraging your meetups locally. Why delaying leadership hurts the system? And I've got 3 more minutes to wrap this up, and then we're going to go to questions. When leaders don't step up, markets stay fragmented, new brokers drift, culture weakens, duplication stalls, and leadership isn't about authority. It's about responsibility. Questions that matter. Are you willing to talk to people every week? Are you willing to educate without pitching? That's the clients and the brokers. Are you willing to lead locally and grow patiently? If yes, this model works. If not, this doesn't work. So if you can answer yes to those, which is really easy to do, it's just easier not to, you can win. 30-day local market sprint, week 1, map out and know every business. Hopefully you've already been doing this. We've been sending an email journey. You've been reading it. We've already said to do this, but for anyone who's brand new, map out your local market, the one, call it an anchor. This is where I'm going to own this market. Educate and be visible. Follow up, systematize, and be remembered by people. How? Be interested in their business. Don't just be interested in pitching them on what you've got. Get to know them. Learn how you can refer them. Find out what's remarkable about their business so you can refer them to other people. Their business, that is. Right? Identify leaders and reflect with them. That means their goals, their plans, discuss, right? Then expand the map. So the map starts small, but then you expand the map. Final thoughts. Local leadership is stewardship. Trust compounds before income does. Everyone should write that down. Put that on your mirror. Trust compounds. I was talking to Marlo today. We were talking about different situations. And I said, one thing I can say for certain is it doesn't matter if someone says the exact same thing as me. It doesn't matter if someone believes the same thing as me. If they're not really focused on the client will sniff it out. The client will find it out, and the client will not apply. They won't tell them this, but they'll say, I like your idea of funding. I'm just not going to use you. They won't tell you that. But as soon as they trust you, they'll go, I want to help that person. I want to get my funding through that person because they're going for it and they're trustworthy. They care about my business. I care about theirs. The moat is built one conversation at a time. You don't just jump in the castle. You build the moat, own your market, and let the rest follow. Final thoughts. Am I educating local businesses? Am I educating local banks? Am I building an agency team? Am I encouraged by agency team? Oh, am I encouraging my agency team? Sorry about that. I got a typo there. Is my team active or do I need a new roster? And will I fix it if I don't have yeses in all these? Will I fix it? That's how simple this is. I'm going to go to your questions right on time. But before I do, I want to give you a little summary. We're going to do this regularly, and each time we're going to go into a little more stuff. Right now, we're still laying the groundwork. But I just want to tell you a story. I started in October. I've been a chamber member for 10 years. I've not been actively going because I've been focused on expanding corporate, scaling different things, not leading my local market. And I decided in October, that's it. I'm leading my local market. I'm gonna serve this community like no one's ever served a community before. I'm gonna refer business like no one's. Everything I teach, I'm gonna start doing. And I'm gonna do it part-time. I'm not gonna do it full-time. I can. I got a company to run too. You might have a job, but you can do this part-time. You can. Chambers are smart. They set up their meetings to meet before. I'm meeting tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. And every Wednesday I've met at 7 a.m. since I joined in October. And I'll go there again tomorrow and I get referrals from them now every week. And it's been a few months of establishing trust. And I've switched my health insurance or part of it. I switched my auto insurance. I switched we got our trees trimmed by someone in our network. I'm an active promoter of their services, right? And so they know I'm there to serve them. And I tell them that I'm here to serve the community. We teach our brokers to do this nationwide, and I want to do it right here. It's important that every business owner in this town knows about us, that every bank knows about us. That's my passion, is that you all know about us and know what we've got. So if and when, and if you ever need to talk about funding, you call me and we'll walk through and we'll find out if we're the right fit, if timing's right, or if a bank's right. I don't know the right fit for you. It might be a credit card. I don't know, but let's talk and we'll see if we can help you. And if you know any other businesses, I've got a passion to help them get the funding they need. Send them my way. Something that simple. You do that every week, every week, every week, every week. And I don't miss a chamber meeting now. I've got one tomorrow night. I've got one tomorrow morning. I had 4 last week. And you know what? That's all I'm doing. I've not gone into businesses yet. I've not gone out and start going out. I'm emailing and I'm texting and I'm calling some businesses, but I've not gone into any, but I'm only doing local. I'm only supporting local right now. That's it. Only supporting local. All the construction memos that I sent out were all local. All the gyms local. Didn't get a gym client. Not even one applied. Had a couple I said they're interested. They didn't move. That's all right for now. Keep following up. It's not a one and done. It's not a, okay, I'm done with them. It's a no, we're building a relationship. The time will come when they need funding, and the time will come when they say, hey, that dude Dave, he's been there. He's actually referred some people to me. He's talked to me. He's actually interested in my business. That will develop itself. It's that easy. Well, some of you used to say, but David, I don't want to do that. Okay, then go do something. There's no reason to be on this plan anymore because you're only going to hear what you're doing is less than as good as this. And now you may still do it more. So yeah, if you're going to say, hey, I'm willing to call 400 people a day, go for it. Get 30 people on the phone, call 400 of them, do it. If you want to do that, do it. Follow the rules and do it right. And if you got the temperament for that, you rock and roll. But if you don't, or if you're like me and say, I just want to do this part-time in my local town, and I'm going to make sure every business, I'm telling you what I'm doing is working and it's producing fruit and I'm getting apps and I'm getting referrals and the relationships are growing just in a couple months of part-time work. So we're not just teaching, I'm leading it by example. And so are you, some of you. So do this by example. That's all we got to do, and you win. If you can just, Morgan said it best on one of the calls we did a while back. Tyler's and Sharon we were on a corporate call, and I said, "What do you think?" I was asking, "What do you think we got to say to people who don't like sales?" And she says, "Well, you know what, Dad? I don't like selling." I don't know if you guys know it. Morgan's my daughter. I don't like selling, Dad, but I like being a good neighbor. And I like helping people just because it's the neighborly thing to do. Bingo. Bingo. That's all it is. If you can be a good neighbor, you're going to make great commissions. If you can be a good neighbor, you're going to have a great team of brokers. No, it's okay to be hungry. It's okay to be driven. It's okay to be all those things. Just don't let that get in the way of how you treat business owners because they can sniff it out. All right. That is our night. We're going to do this again. I'll introduce everyone. I'll be emailing everyone when we're going to, but right now we're going to go to your questions. If there's anything that was unclear in this, if there's anything you want to, okay, Dave, I really want to, but I'm a little confused about this. Or I'm a little confused. That's what I really want. I don't want, hey, how do I find out my BR? No, this is how do you lead a local market? That's what we're talking about today. Where do I get my status updates? In your email. Go back and get certified. Go back and watch your certification. Watch it again and again and again and again and again and again. It answers most every question. How do I get my Revate card? It's in the certification. What do I do if I don't get it? It's in the certification. What's my BR? Why is my BR? When do I get told my BR? Why is my BR lower than what I thought it would be? It's all in the certification. 90% of our questions are answered in the certification and the funding training. Probably 95% are answered in the certification and the funding training. So that's not what I'm here to talk about tonight. I'm here to talk to people who've said, I want to be a local leader, questions about local leadership, about any confusion you have about what you're supposed to do with a new broker, what you're supposed to do with a client to lead your local market. Not how do I get leads on the telemarketers? We're not talking about that. We're talking about your local circle, the moat in your town. If you're not focused on your town, don't ask a question. Save that to Friday on the broker update. We'll talk about any question you want there. But this call is for people who are in the local leader system, who are reading the local leader journey emails. And if you're not in that yet, you're like, what are you talking about? DACleader.com, DACleader.com. Sign up, subscribe, and you'll get for 10 days, you'll get our system emailed out. Everything I just talked about is in that system. We just are broadening it a little bit more. We're talking about the 3 traps. All right, let's go to your questions first. Anyone have any questions for us?
Carmen, you can unmute.
Oh, yes, I live in a little dinky town. There's like 3,000, but the closest one near me is 6 miles away, Thurmont. And I already talked to Pam, the manager at the bank here. Yep. And we have another PNC at the other 6 miles away. And I want to know, since we only have one bank, should I go over? Is it okay to go to the other one too, or wait till I get everybody here? Because I've already talked to everybody, but I'm going to keep talking to them.
You bet. Expand the map. Expand the map. Expand the map. So you make the map as big as you can target in your first 30 days. But if you've already talked to everyone and you're already building a relationship, expand it. You bet. Expand the map.
All right.
Good
Thanks.
job, Carmen.
Thank you.
You bet.
Dominique, you can unmute yourself.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good evening. Great training.
Thank you.
Simple question, or I should maybe say a two question, but I really like the idea of approaching the banks. And so when you go in, do you basically, is there a particular person within the bank that you would talk to, or whomever will listen to you? How do you approach that?
Yeah, you'd want to start with the bank manager, even though they're not usually the business funding, they're in the branch. But one bank was brought to me by someone in the mortgage business. Another bank was brought to me at the chamber. They have someone who just shows up and talks about their bank. I educated them on it. They go, you really need to meet our lending team. Yes. Another one was walking in and just talking to the branch manager. Interestingly enough, the only bank that I've not been able to meet with is the bank where I bank.
Right.
All the other banks in town, I saw Kevin do a thumbs down. You're right, Kevin. I reached out to him again last week, and I said, I really like to know who I should be speaking to. I really like to support your clients. So can you please reply? And if they don't reply, I am moving over $250,000 next week. Done.
Right.
To another branch who is referring people. Okay. Because hey, I got commission breath. I sense commission breath. If I'm only as good as my savings account, then I'm out. If you don't even want to care about your clients that I want to help and you don't want to hear me out, then I'm gone. Anyway, and by the way, your clients feel the same way about you. Oh, you're only in here to get me funding so you can make a commission. You don't care about my soup. You don't care about my my barber shop. You're not going to refer anyone here. You're not going to tell anyone about it. You don't really care about. You just want to get a commission on me. I'm out. That's how they feel too. Okay, who else we got? Someone else has got their hand up.
Yep, we got Joanne. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, Joanne.
Hi, Dave.
Hi.
I appreciate all the training that you do. I just love your energy. I just love how you are so personable and that you want us to succeed. I really, truly appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
I have been on different platforms. I've been on LinkedIn, I've been on Facebook, and I've been on alignable.com.
Yep.
And one of the young ladies reached out to me regarding one of her clients. My question is, now, mind you, this young lady saw me on Alignable. She lives in Arizona. She had a client that needs to get funding for $150,000. Banks wouldn't do it. He has a 700 plus credit, and he makes over 15,000 a month. In pay. My question is, she asked me a peculiar question, and I told her that I would get back to her on it. He needs the 150,000 to get supplies from China.
Yep.
So does that lessen
lessen
his chances of
No. Whatever he's doing with the money doesn't matter. I mean, obviously if he's doing something illegal or going to casino, but the real issue comes down to 150,000, keeping in mind from our certification requirements, you must be doing 150,000 a month in sales.
Okay.
It sounds like you said he's doing 15. Bank funding, like a mortgage, he might be able to get a mortgage for his home for 150,000, put his home up, but he's not going to get 150,000 in non-collateralized funding anywhere in the world. The only way he can get more than 1 times or 2 times his monthly revenue is putting up property with the bank conventional loan, and the property's got to be worth about 175 if he wants 150. So if his bank won't help him, he can't get it. What he can do is get about 15,000 if he's doing 15,000 a month. And that probably won't get him what he needs. So I had a client yesterday, same thing. One of the clients, the bank referred me. They were doing $20,000 through an apartment complex, 10,000 from a nail salon, and she wanted 100,000. I said, you can't get 100,000. The bank turned you down. That's the only place you'll get 100,000 if you're not doing 100,000 a month in sales. Right. So, or at least 70 or 80,000 a month in sales. So keeping in mind the rule of thumb, you can't get what you're not producing per month in sales. It's real simple. And if you start with that, they'll love you for it. You shoot right to I told this gal last night, I'm going to get right to the point. You can get at most 15 grand from that real estate, 18 grand a month. Then salon, you're not going to get anything for that 10 grand. Maybe you'll get it 3,000 a month. You're not going to get a whole lot. 3,000 one time. It's not going to get you near your 100,000. She said, but I got perfect credit. Well, then maybe go get a friend to give you a loan, or try to get a personal loan. You don't have what it takes to get 100,000 through us. And I said it nicely and all that, and he doesn't either.
Okay.
All right. Sorry, but it's good that you're talking to people. Stay local though. Go local. Hopefully you've heard.
Yep.
Yes.
I've been going to meetings, town hall meetings. I have a chamber meeting to go to next week and something else next week to go to.
Good job. Way to go. Way to go. Keep staying local and keep serving local, Joanne. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming on tonight.
Thank you.
All right. Who else we got? We got another couple minutes.
Yep. It looks like we have a different Joanne asking a question. Joanne R., you can unmute yourself.
McBroom. Yeah. How are you doing, Joanne?
All right.
Yeah.
So I have a question that was kind of touched on in the huddle today, but I would like to hear your take on it. So I just recently got my amazing local agent, Anne, and she and I both are pretty well networked because we've had small businesses in the area for a while. And so our question that we've kind of been discussing between us is, how do we make sure we stay out of each other's lane? Like businesses that she's already working with or businesses that I'm already working with. One thing that we talked about was doing like a shared Google document where we can list the businesses we're working with. So I know to kind of like, okay, Anne's already working with them, or she can be like, Joan's already working with them. Another idea that was brought up in Huddle is like when you go out visiting businesses to go together and alternate who goes in at the businesses. So anyway, I just like to hear your ideas on that.
Yeah, I think all those are good ideas. It really comes down to the makeup of the team. Because let's say you're wanting to be a part of the chamber and she's not. Well, then everyone in the chamber obviously is going to meet through you. Maybe your chamber allows two people for one membership, and you guys, let's split it. Let's pay for one membership. We can have two members, and we'll tag team, and we'll systematize when you're going to be there, when I'm going to be there, when you're going to be there, when I'm going to be there, and tag team go out together. There's nothing, I'm telling you, there's nothing better than tag team marketing, going out talking 2 by 2. Jesus taught it, whether you believe it or not. His group is still growing, and it's 2 by 2. It was started, and there's a reason for that. It's easy to get slowed down when you're alone. You're emboldened. Two people coming together with the same goals, believe in the same thing. Man, look out. And so when you get together to canvas, if you get together at a Starbucks or local coffee shop, not a Starbucks, get together at a local coffee shop, have a meeting, and then share what you believe, and go practice on the owner where you're having a coffee, and have one of them share what you believe. We're in town to make sure all these businesses know, and we just want you to know we love your coffee. You don't mind if we meet here every week, do you? Right? We might even bring in some other people, and you don't mind if we do that every week and treat you like my little office, do you? Not at all. Just buy a coffee. Great. Yeah, we want to help businesses and blah, blah, blah. They're going to love you for it. So then the answer is 2 by 2, alternate. But sometimes you're just going to have a vibe where you and I will walk in together, and you're just vibing with the people more than me, even if it's my turn. And you're vibing, it's obvious the relationship is there, it's yours. And then other times it's mine. Or you say, okay, listen, for the next week, this side of the block is yours to network, and this side's mine. And let's take this all this week. We divide the map, and you're going to take them together. And then at the end of the week, we'll find out where our relationships are real strong. And if there's somewhere you want me to try, and we hand them over to me, and I'll try, and we'll swap. And then you just go map by map. So it's really getting creative. That's where that weekly meeting and the 8 steps is all about, getting together and vibing a little bit and deciding. But I can tell you, when I say those first 15 clients there's one buddy of mine who we went out tag teaming together. And I said, you can have every client, because I had personally enrolled them. I'm like, I'm learning right now. Right. I'm learning. So you can have every one, because you're learning, I'm learning. And so let's go do it together. If you're willing to do it together, I'll give you every client we get for the first week. And we did. And we did. Wow. So do it. It's really up to you how you want to do it. But a Google Sheet is a brilliant idea, and you assign yourself to it, especially when you're all on one team. It's brilliant. Because eventually someone's going to come in. Go ahead.
You mentioning going out 2 by 2 kind of reminds me of another verse that says, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, the truth is established. Right. So never hurts to have more than one person preaching the same message.
Well, and because you have different personalities too, and different takes, everyone's hearing things a little differently. And it's like, hey, and by the way, you throw something in, and it's brilliant. Good stuff.
All right.
Way to throw some scripture out there. Bang. Good one. Yes. All right. Who else we got here today's got to see a couple more hands up.
Yep. And you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay. Thank you. I'm the new one. I'm under Joan.
All right, Ann.
I'm printing out some bank flyers.
Yeah.
What website would I use? The Bank Breezy or my personal website?
You use your personal website either way, your replicated website. So because you'd want them to refer people to your site and to your phone number. So yeah, you want to you could choose whether you want to use the David Allen Capital or the Bank Breezy. That's really up to you to choose. I won't tell you what I use because it depends on where I'm going, but definitely, you choose and make sure your information's in there. And I'm sure Joan will share that with you too, Ann.
Okay, great.
All right.
Thank
We've
you.
got 10 more minutes until we're done, but we got a couple more. We got, go ahead, Tyler. I don't have my glasses on.
Yep. Forgive me if I pronounce it wrong, but Natifa, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, Natafia. I understand.
Natafia, very pretty name.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I am that person that keeps getting ready to get ready. And then after I get ready to get ready, I find so many other things to do. And then the day goes by, and then I'm like, oh, come on, when are you going out? So the question is anybody in the New York area? Because I feel like if I do have, if there's no one in the area, I definitely still have to do it myself. But if I have someone to team up with, I feel like I would feel like, okay, you know what? I have more of accountability partner, and when you have accountability partner, it's different. Because like I said, you have the two. It's like, come on, let's do this. Let's do this. How we gonna do it? Let's go.
Well, Natafia, first of all, thanks for owning it. And that's the first part. My wife does a event called Reveal to Heal, and you're like, you can't heal something until you first reveal it. And so you spoke it out, right? Where you're at. So I don't know where in New York you are, but I'd go to Facebook. New York's pretty big, right? So I would just put it on Facebook.
I'm close to Bronx, New York, but I do Hudson Valley because I'm moving upstate an hour and a half away from the Bronx. So I want to do that. I want to do from Hudson Valley to the Bronx.
There you go. So I would go to the Facebook place and market there. But I will say this: when I started DAC, I was in the same position as you, and there was no one in my town, so I recruited someone. So even if someone doesn't say, "Yeah, we'll do it together," Natafia, recruit someone, and they will, and you'll do it with them, and together
you can. Question: how do I recruit? I was wondering because I thought you had something about that before. I remember a while back you did a class, but I was thinking like, how can I?
Yeah, absolutely. As a broker, you're able to build a team. You're able to build your own agency.
I'm ready to do that. Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Let's go. Own New York. And so that's part of being a local leader. And you've got a page, your Partner With Us page, it's called. And on the bottom of your website, in the footer, you'll see Become a Broker. And if you click on it, you'll see a 4-minute video. And there's another one, a 24-minute video. I always use the 24-minute partner overview one. And in your welcome letter, you've got a link to refer people to join, to be a broker. But the easiest thing to do is go watch the certification again, because we've got all the links in the certification. And also, after you're certified, then you get to go through the agency expansion training, which we have a recruiting training, how to build a team. Yeah. So you definitely want to do that.
Again.
All right. Thank you. Glad to have you, Natafia. Again, yeah. Again, no problem. It's all right. Matthew DeHame, how you doing, Matthew?
I'm ready to take us home, man. Let me tell you, I just gotta delete that message. Okay, here we go. I just cannot tell you, David. I see you rapid fire gold. I would say to myself and to the group, rapid fire gold. One thing, shift your focus, and what you're doing is running a big organization, and you decided to shift your focus on this one thing. You're taking your talent, your ability, or your passion, more importantly, over to this thing, and you're focusing, lasering, right? Aiming small to miss big, aiming small.
Aiming small to expand big. Yep.
There, you're like your brother, right? With the archery.
Yeah. Aim small, miss small.
Right there, you go. Aim small, miss small. And so what you've done by default is just said, what if I just focus a little time over here? How hard can it be? Well, what you're doing. Maybe not taking for granted, but the fact that your core, your anchor is your belief in what it is you're doing. And you can take that anywhere you go. That's your passion. You're shifting your passion over to this focus, and it's going to produce results invariably because you have it. And so therein lies the rub where everything is explained. You can follow all the machinations and all the listening, but what is your belief? So it always comes down to it. I reinforced it. I visited New Jersey. Guys, you guys, there's 100-something people on here. I was just in the United States. I am in South America right now. I live here. I visited for 7 days. And in that period of time, I just reorientated myself and, as you said, shifted my focus back on something that I could do in person. I'm not doing it in person. So you just got to just focus on this is about obviously, your future. You're here for a purpose. You want to make money. You want to build a team. I've earned, as David knows, you're going to earn a lot more by being an example and building a team. So there's there's a cause and effect and equilibrium here. So the phenomenally ingenious, sorry, I'm not kissing your butt, but I love this March Madness contest because all it does is it's just incentivizing what you're supposed to do anyway. It's going to begat which begats, and it's going to get that little dynamo going. All you got to do is initiate with your belief, anchor in those things, focus on this. Today, David, you were on the huddle call. Somebody mentioned it, and it was phenomenal. Of course, everybody's got to be on the huddle call. Anybody on this call better be on the huddle calls every morning, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, DAC Zoom, same place, and get plugged in because you're part of something. And so when you can identify, you're being entertained. You are a participant. So raise your hand, be focused, engage, make notes if you're not caught raising your hand, and make sure that that you're here. You're going to fulfill it. You're going to hit your goals. Your objectives are critically important. But this contest, guys, plug into the thing. It's all right there. Anybody can win this thing. I am so excited about it. I've been here for 8 years. And each time, you should see the huddle call today. I was like a little kid. David, I woke up at 4:15 a.m. Eastern Time today. It should be later because I just changed. I'm all screwed up with my time. I've been up since 4:15 a.m. I didn't sleep. I did nothing. I'm full of juice, man. Adrenaline. I can't stop. I woke up this morning like, oh, I can't wait to call these people I just met in New Jersey. You got to be kidding me. So you've got to capture that spirit, capture that energy. You have it. All the new brokers coming on. David's like, most of the new brokers, the new fundings are coming from new brokers. How is that possible? Here's why. Because they're just full of enthusiasm. This is great. They don't start doubting. They don't start They don't start looking into, oh, is this wrong or something? No, they're going because they see the value initially. So take the emotional spirit you have and just try to recapture it or funnel it and just like use that, recapture it. Whatever you got to do, because it's real. You're not contriving. It's real. You're helping people, and the business owners love you for it. If you come across authentic, as David says, be the authentic you. I don't care who you are. Bring you. The script doesn't matter. Listen, I don't even know about it. I just started. This is great. Well, we've helped a lot of businesses like yours. Just take a look, and maybe this just doesn't matter. All you need to do is take your passion. Study, do the training. You cannot proceed without fundamentals. Fundamentals are key. Lays it all out for everybody here. You better be certified. You wouldn't be on this call if you weren't certified, I guarantee. Well, maybe you're not, but get certified.
All right.
Yeah,
wrap it up, Matthew. We got to go to Harlequin. We're going to run late.
Go. I'm sorry about that, man. Go.
Hey, he's on fire. Yeah, I love it. All right, Harlequin. Thank you, Matthew. Love you, buddy. Appreciate everything.
Matt's
Matthew
always on fire.
By the way, Matt sent me an email earlier. He goes, by the way, who's finishing second in this tournament? Larry Bird. And he sent me a Larry Bird video from when Larry went and said, who's going to finish second in the 3-point contest? Matthew's saying he's going to win it. And then guess what? Matthew said, you won't believe it. Nick came in and said the same thing to me. Yeah, the DeHane boys are getting after it. And hey, I'm not sitting on the bench. Let's go. All right, Harlequin, what do you got for us? You're the last one. Then I gotta wrap us up by 10 o'clock. What do you got?
Okay. Well, first off, I'm excited that I've got a bunch of people from my team on here.
Good.
And they're all in different cities, so that's even better. We got people all over the place.
Amen.
I wanted to give people a tip. Whenever you're going to your networking events, this is a tip that was given to me by someone who specializes in training and networking.
Yep.
And her tip is, you always want to go and try and schedule one-on-one meetings with people to get to know them, get to know their business. But the trick is take your calendar with you to the networking meeting and schedule the meeting then and there. Even if it has to be hey, let's go and put a place marker here and we'll go back to the office and double check and make sure. And that has been a game changer for me because in the last month, I have
brilliant
like 15 different one-on-one appointments.
Brilliant.
Whereas before it was, I'd get 1 or 2 a month. So,
Good tip. And I'm seeing the same thing. All the meetings I'm doing are coming from one-on-ones. Do some one-on-ones, guys. Harlequin's brilliant on it. Thank you so much, Harlequin, for bringing that tip. And let's take us home, everybody. Listen, huddles are every day at 11:30. If you're working, you can't be there, of course. Watch it on recording. If you can be there, try to be there. Try to schedule around it. The first Tuesday of the month, schedule around it. It's a good goal to see how many brand new brokers can I have on the first Tuesday next month. I can compound. I can compound my group. If I have a few new brokers start this week and they have a few brokers next week, you don't have to just get a bunch of people. The concept is you and two who are doing it. You and two who will do. That's all you need. You and two who will do and look out and then grow with that from there. Then you help them get 2, and then you go to 3, and then you go to 4. And as you continue to do that, you're eventually going to have a very, very strong duplicated team just doing the basics. If you only had to learn how to be neighborly, you already know that. If you already had to learn how to canvas an area, put a map out and go, okay, here's all the construction companies in town. Have I called them? Do they know me? Do they know if someone said, you know, David Rutz from David Allen Capital, would they say yes? Do they know Harlequin? Yes. Do they know Matt? Yes. Do they know Tyler? Yes. If they can answer yes, then great. You're knowing them and stay following up with them. Just do your map. Go through the 8 steps of our local leader and just check the box. That's it. If you got 2 people in your team, what's your communication with those 2? How often are you communicating with them? How often are you mentioning, hey, let's get together and map out the area? How often are you engaged with them, or are you not? They're just on your downline report. So that's the focus. And local is always better. If they're not local, you can only support that they support their local. And hopefully all the people I personally rolled here, I invited them all, right? Told them all to be here today because that's the best way I can support them. If they're not local here, they need to know what to do in their local market, right? So hopefully you're doing the same thing, being an encourager. But I will tell you this, they're watching what you're doing, not what you're saying. So go do it. Go do it. Go do it. All right, guys, we're done for the day. I appreciate you all. If you missed any of this, go back and watch it. And even if you didn't miss it, go back and watch it and watch it and watch it and watch it and watch it. This is the beginning of something big for you. It does compound. The rule of 72 in finance says whatever interest rate you make a year, divide that into 72, and that's how long for your money to double. If you've got $10,000 in the bank and you're getting 12% a year, 12 into 72 is 6. In 6 years, that 10,000 will turn into 20. In 6 more years, the 20 will turn into 40. In 6 more years, the 40 will turn into 80. In 6 more years, the 80 will turn into 160. All started with 10. That's how your business is as well. If you just get a couple brokers this week and get 10 more clients who know who you are, and next week a couple more brokers and 10 more clients who know who you are, and then a couple more brokers and 10 more clients who know who you are, and you just grow your business by a couple things a month, but it doubles every month and then doubles every 2 months and then doubles every 4 months. And before long, you've got an exponential explosion happening, and you never know. All of a sudden, you got a group of 100 people join. 200 people join, 5 people join. Each week you got 50 new brokers in your agency, and they're in other states, and they're on this doing local market. There's only 90 something people on here. There's 2,000 on our local leader list. I've made millions in this industry. We're teaching for free. Maybe I need to start charging $12,000 to get those 2,000 people to see they need to be here. Right? And scholarship all of you guys. And maybe then they'd show up, but I can't tell everyone they got to be here. We promoted it. We can't guarantee and require anything. This is a volunteer business, but I can tell you, we will become $1 billion player in the funding space. We will do it by creating moats around local business, local market, not through telemarketing, not through ads, not through Facebook ads. They're all blowing up. Everyone's complaining about Facebook ads in the funding space. They're all wasting money on it. Here we got the competitive advantage. Someone will duplicate us though, so we got to go own it before they do and have a.
I got a domain name and it includes DAC. It's Chris with DAC. Is that compliant?
Chris, what did you say it is?
Chris with DAC.
Yes.
Totally fine.
Yep, that's good. Yep.
Good. I should have asked that sooner because I already ordered business cards and all that, but I'm glad it's compliant. I got name and it includes DAC. It's Chris with DAC. Is that compliant?
Got a reverb. That's the YouTube. Yeah,
Okay, can I ask one more question real quick?
absolutely.
Um, oh, it's escaping me. Give me a second. Okay, here it is. I'm brand new, first week. When is it proper to talk to a bank? Because I'm not afraid to go and talk to a bank manager, but I don't know if I need more credibility or like a few sales under my belt, or can I go right out of the gate and say I'm brand new, but I'm here?
Absolutely. No experience needed, man. You could go in and say, hey, I'm with DAC. This is our mission, our goal to serve business owners. We understand that you guys may have to turn away a lot of people that don't qualify with you guys. And I just want to be that source, that light for your clients so that you don't, when you do have to say no, that there's another landing zone for them to be at. And that's as simple as that. Lead
Fantastic.
with that
Thank you.
passion. They don't need to know a single other thing. Absolutely, Chris. Appreciate
All
you,
right,
man, and
let's do
welcome
it.
aboard.
Let's
Thank
do
you.
it, buddy. We're streaming. If
Yes,
you
sir.
could,
Yes, sir.
can you hear me okay? All right.
Absolutely.
Audio's good. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. All right, everybody. Broker update for today. Most people watch this on YouTube later. So I'm going to be erasing this, but I can't erase it without letting you look at it real quick. March Madness points. We're going to be going through March Madness in a minute. But if you're brand new to DAC and this is your first broker update, welcome. My name is David Rutz. I happen to be the founder of David Allen Capital. My middle name is Allen, thus the name. But we're all one family here. This is your business as much as it's mine. I love the pay plan so much. I'm paid in it just like you are. I don't take a salary. I literally earn in the same compensation plan you did and do. I started the same way you did myself in this office that I'm in right now. And I recruited a few people who recruited a few people. And we got a few clients. We got a few clients because I believed in the funding. I believe business owners needed this because I had to sell my last company. And my last company that I owned, we worked very hard at it. And we had, I don't know, 20 or 30 employees. I don't remember the number. And I had to sell the company. And all those people lost their jobs because I had to sell the company. All the reps kept getting paid. I had an independent sales organization and they were able to keep getting paid. But my sister who worked there had to get a new job. My brother-in-law who worked there had to get a new job, right? Some of my dearest friends, someone I hired who became the president had to get a new job because I couldn't fund the growth. You build a company from scratch on a napkin and grow it up to where you're doing millions annually and millions monthly, actually, and you can't keep it in business because you're growing too fast and you can't afford the growth, and you end up having to sell that business to someone else and lay all those people off. It will make it for 2 years. I had trouble starting another company. 2 years it bothered me. And so when I learned of this revenue-based capital, I said, this is a solution that can solve all those people who, like me, have a baby. It's called their business that they give their life to grow. They care about it. They're brave. They don't have guaranteed pay. They make the guaranteed pay. They grow it. They build it. They grow it. They build it. And then when it is growing and building, you can't get money from a bank unless you have a bunch of property you own, and you don't own property because you started a business, and you don't have a bunch of investment property because no one gave you any, or you didn't have any. And so now you got to get money. And unfortunately, you don't own that restaurant building you're in, so you can't get it, or you can't get it because your home has a mortgage on it and it's not worth $1 million and you need $1 million. And even if it is, you have a mortgage on it, so you can't get it. Eventually you go, you know what? This is not wired right for business owners. This isn't built for the banking community, is not built for business owners. It's built for super successful, highly asset business owners. Who the top 10%, banks are fantastic. They're our friends. I referred someone to a bank yesterday and again this morning because the bank is better for them. They've got 3 million in land and buildings paid for, and they need to get $2 million. We're not going to help them when they're not doing $2 million a month in sales, right? So we send them to a bank. They're fantastic. They'll get that 2 million and they'll be able to go to the next level. But they're one out of every 100 businesses out there, right? And so for the people like me who had to lay off people because I had to sell my company, it's one thing to have to sell it. It's another thing. You got people, they worked their tail off to help build that company, and then they lost their jobs because I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice except stop the growth. Stop the growth. But then all the reps don't get to keep growing their income. All the salespeople who were working were told to stop your sales. You're selling more than we can afford to pay for because we're making the product and we got to buy inventory and get all the ingredients to build it. And it just didn't, you can't do that. You got to allow them to sell. Our Bank Breezy business platform can scale. You want to give us 100 applications an hour? We can handle them. You want to give us 1,000 an hour? We can handle them. We've got the system built. We're not going to tell you, sorry, it costs us too much to grow. Product companies, that happens. What does a product company do when they're growing so fast? They get funding, or they sell, or they stop the growth. That was your founder, David Rutz's story. So for 2 years, I was weeping. It was like a divorce, right? It's like I had to sell a child. Not the same, I know, obviously. But when you give your blood, sweat, and tears and you got to sell it, it'll impact you forever. So you think I have trouble talking to business owners about our funding? Heck to the no, and hopefully you don't either. That's why at 58 years old, I can get as excited as as a college student who's watching their football team go win the Rose Bowl, right? Because you're passionate about what you do, and you don't have to be, but I am. And hopefully you can see the value of how we're saving businesses in our company. So this broker update, maybe this is your first call, get a hold of what you're doing for your community, because 6 out of 10 businesses in your community, in your town, are breaking even or losing money. 6 out of 10 restaurants breaking even or losing money. 6 out of 10 nail salons, same. 6 out of 10 roofing companies, same. Construction companies, same. Hair salons, same. Name the business, same. Dojos, dance studios, same. 6 out of 10 are breaking even or losing money, according to the Small Business Administration. We can take them from breaking even or losing money to profitable, to having lifestyle. That's what you can do. And yes, you can get paid very well to do it, but don't lose sight of what we are here doing, and that is serving the community with funding. So today's message about March Madness, and also how to I want to see exactly how I said this. Well, it's on YouTube. You'll see what it is in a minute. It's about investment mentality, and this is about investing into your future, and we're going to go to that. But a couple updates for you. First of all, great sales contest, or not sales contest, sales event. I'm going to cover my brochure here, cover my name and ID. We got this great, let me get rid of this YouTube. We got this great brochure. You can pull this brochure right off of the resource center and get this out to people. Email this out to people. Bring this with you. Have a couple of these. This is printed on regular paper. This isn't on brochure paper. This is regular paper. I got a handful of them here. And if I go meet with someone, these are in my briefcase. And you know what? When I see them, if they're in construction, dude, you got to have this. You got to check this out. Send it out. Post it at the Starbucks. Post it in the little coffee shop. Go to a coffee shop wherever they have a bunch of business cards. Take a picture of all those business cards, by the way, and reach out to every one of them. Hey, you don't know me directly. I saw your business card at D's Diner, and I just want to reach out and introduce myself, because we haven't met, and we're in business funding, and I'd love you to just know who we are. I'd love to get together and get to know you better, but I want you in the meantime to know we're in funding if you ever have an opportunity you want to pursue. And every construction company, you got a reason to call them right now in the trades. You need to reach out to them right now and inform them, because urgency matters. This is a great time to be presenting to business owners in the trades. Okay, March Madness, we're going to go to the current list right now. And then I'm going to go into my thing. Monday, President's Day, banks are closed. That means there'll be no funding on Monday. Today's the last day for funding. If you have any clients who are on the fence, they need funding soon, they got to take it today, or they're not getting it till Tuesday. That may not seem like much for you, but 5 days without money can be very devastating to a business owner if they need it for the weekend. So let them know, remind them there's no fundings on Monday. Even if they accept it on Monday, they're not getting the money till Tuesday. The banks are closed. All right. So President's Day Monday, we will be open. We're open as normal. Some of our corporate team will be answering more through email than telephone. But the bank system, our application system and our funding system and our recruiting system is live 24/7. Have your team go get started. Okay. Just look at these real quick. Prerequisites to succeed in this business. You may not be able to read that, so I'm going to say them
really quick. Morgan here. The camera, you just have your front screen blocking it just a touch over the whiteboard. There we go. There you go.
Hey, there we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. I forget that I'm using a separate camera. That's why sometimes I'm staring over here at my laptop and sometimes I'm staring here. But these prerequisites, thank you, Morgan. I'm going to say these, write these down. See, I'm looking here and there. I'm going to say these, write them down. This is something we talked about last week, but determination and willingness, those are the two most important prerequisites you have to have. The rest mean nothing if you don't have those. But even if you have determination and willingness, you still need to have beliefs about what we do. You need to have a base knowledge of our funding. If you don't have a base knowledge of our funding, get certified, watch it again and again and again till you have a base knowledge of our funding. The qualifications, the pricing, what kills the deal, what doesn't kill the deal. It's all in our funding training. If you watch that, you'll know. Well, David, can you do this? The questions are answered in the training. How much revenue they doing? How long they've been in business? What's their FICO? How many bounce checks? What's their average daily balance? If you know those things, you can answer that yourself, but you got to have this base knowledge. Knowledge of the system from app to funding. App, upload bank statements, completed application. We're going out and finding the offer, presenting the offer, signed agreements. Signed agreements, final bank verification and background check, funded, right? You got to know that process. You got to operate with authenticity. I shared a book with McGuire today called The Unsold. It's a sales training book. It's fantastic, but it's about being unsold to sales training. It's about don't follow sales training. It's a bunch of BS. It teaches you to be someone who's not you. And the top performers in the world don't read scripts. They look at them to get guidance. They don't follow all the Zig Ziglar stuff, the Tommy Hopkins stuff. Those are all great trainings. I'm not saying they're bad, but the top performers say, screw all that. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be authentic. I believe in the product. I'm going to help this customer. If it's the right fit, great. If it's not, it's not. And I'm not trying to get a yes. I'm not trying to get to yes. I'm not trying to get to no. I'm trying to get to know the person and know the need and let them see if our need fits your need and you're authentic. Go check out that book, The Unsold. It's pretty good. 2 college professors teach it. Spectacular. Authenticity is the first chapter. How if you're not authentic, it doesn't matter if you're reading scripts or not. No one's going to sign up with you. No one's going to trust you. No one's going to believe you. Don't read scripts. If you're hi, you don't know me directly, I'm referred to you by. You don't read the script. You digest it and understand, why is David saying to tell people you don't know me directly and I'm referred to you by? Why does he start with that? And do I want to start with that or do I not? Right? But you don't need to say it word for word. Game plan. You need to have a game plan. You need to be shooting for. What are your goals? How many new brokers are you trying to have this week? How many new fundings are you trying to do this week? What's your goal for income this month? How are you making it happen? What is your goal? We're going to be touching on this today. Activity. How much activity to make that goal happen? And then client focused, understanding the client. You have to be focused on understanding the client's needs, not the other. I spent an hour on the phone with a gym owner last night and told them they need to apply at their bank. I then introduced them to a president of a bank, and they said to me, I'm probably going to use you, though, for working capital in the short term while I'm waiting to get this big loan because you've been so helpful. Thank you. Thank you. Didn't expect that. Thank you. Send me the application, David. I'd like to check that out. Instead of using my current credit card processing loans and advances, I'll use you. You've been great and you're local. Fantastic. That's thankful. But because I understood their needs, I didn't tell them to use our funding. I told them to use the bank funding. That makes all the difference in the world because I authentically don't want to make a commission on anybody. I want to help you take your business to the next level. And if we do that and the bank wants to pay me money, then great. I will keep helping clients. I don't want you to have to sell your business because you'll have to lay off people. You'll have to close down certain things if you can't get money. So I want to make sure you've got access to money, and then we're not the reason. Lack of money isn't the reason you got to shut down. Look at this differently, guys. You'll have more clients than then you can shake a stick at. You'll get more referrals than you can shake a stick at. You'll have more bank managers who believe in you than you could shake a stick at because they'll go, this dude's authentic. This girl's authentic. She believes in her funding. She does want to take care of customers. And yeah, she responds immediately. And you know what? If I refer someone to her, I know they're going to be well taken care of. And if you don't understand everything, that gentleman who said, hey, I'm new, here's the best part about it. Authentic is, that's a great question. I've only been with the company a week, but I can get you on the phone with someone at the company who's training me and they can answer the questions together. So you defer to another expert. It's called a third party expert. Defer. And it's authentic so that you don't have to know the answers. You don't have to know the answers. I'm working with a gentleman, James. He might be on here right now. James is a successful executive from General Motors. He's a retiree. He made it to the top of General Motors, ran a whole plant, right? Reported directly to the person in charge of manufacturing for the whole world. Top of the top, right? You're in the top echelon. He's a broker with us now. And he'll say, I don't know. Let's call Dave. Someone who had to have all the answers for the whole plant, could run the whole company, could take that next job and run all the things, was given, pick a plant you want to run. And he says, I don't know, let's call Dave. And he's okay with it. He's okay with it. You don't have to know everything about our business. In fact, everyone knows you don't. I have to say, I'm not sure. Let me call our funding team and find out about that. And I started the company and I've been doing this 10 years and I still get questions I don't have answers to. So the best answer is, that's a great question. That's a real good one. I don't know. Let me call you back. Let me make some calls and I'll call you back. Okay. They don't go as the training I already promoted, as the book I promoted called The Unsold. They don't instead say, I can't trust them. You know what they say? They trust you more. They actually want to use people. Chapter 2 is literally have built in things you don't know. That people trust people who don't know everything more than they trust people who know everything. That's chapter 2. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it actually says you're better off to be honest and say, I'm not sure. I don't know. Let me find out for you. They trust you and want to keep working with you more. They don't go, oh, this dude doesn't know his stuff. You know who they know? You know what they do to the ones that go, yeah, well, yeah. And then you answer a bunch of questions. You don't know what you're talking about. You know what they say? I can tell he is making up crap right now, and he'll make up crap for my customer. She'll make up crap for my customer. I'm not referring them a soul. I'm going to smile. I'm going to say, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But I'm not going to refer anyone to this person because they're full of BS. They're going to keep answering stuff they don't know. And I can feel it. I can sense it. So I'm not going to send them anyone. Trust before transactions. Trust before transactions. If I don't trust you, we're not transacting business together. But as soon as I trust you, we'll transact all kinds of business together. This is $1 million information, guys. This is $1 million information. Hopefully you're capturing it and taking it. I've not been uber successful compared to some other people in our industry, but I've made tens of millions of dollars in this industry doing exactly what we're talking about. There's people who made hundreds of millions, right? So I'm not in that top of the top of the top, but if you want to make more than an athlete, well, not some athletes. People are getting way overpaid now. I remember when I first started in this, I'm like, hey, I can make what an NFL athlete makes, right? Without having to give up my knees. Well, here's, now they're getting paid 100 million, 50 million, all this kind of stuff. So it's kind of hard to beat that. But I don't have that build. I don't have that tech, that ability, and I don't have that age on my side anymore. But I can out earn this year what they're earning after they retire, right? So let's go out there and make a big impact. So March Madness, we're going to go to that in a minute. We've got a new page I'm going to share with you. This is the top 64. Here's the points again. Every time you get a new broker, you get 5 points. Every time they become certified, it goes to 50. So it goes up 45 points. Every time you get a completed application, you get 50 points. When they become a funding, you get 10% of whatever that bonus revenue is. Okay? You get 10% of that. And then you get $50 for giggle funding. So if you had an application, you got 50 completed, and they get a funding, it's 100,000 with, let's just say, 5,000 bonus revenue. You're getting 500 points for the bonus revenue because you get 10% of the bonus revenue. So you got 500 points there plus the 50. You got 550 points. Way to go, right? That's a big funding. Keep in mind, there's no advantage to having a big group in this. I don't get to count any production of the people who started before the 15th or people who started after the 15th that I didn't personally recruit. So I only get to count my personal clients and any new brokers I recruited after the 15th of January. Same with you. So if you're Ellen Wynn and you've got thousands of brokers and they're doing all kinds of production, you don't get points for that. You get paid on it, so good for you. And you still promote it because you want them all trying to win the tournament, right? Because that generates a lot of productivity. That's why you love incentives like this. But you don't get to count them to your personal production. It's personal production and personally enrolled broker production. Only people you personally enroll. So if you haven't recruited anyone new and you haven't had any personal production, your points are 0. Doesn't mean you didn't make $5 grand last week. because you might have a big team already that's productive, and maybe you didn't do any personal production. Doesn't mean you didn't get paid, but it does mean you don't have any points in the tournament because you didn't recruit anyone new since the 15th, and you haven't gotten any new clients since the 15th. New, not even renewals, new, right? So you could be a grand poobah making $100,000 a year and have 0 points in this tournament right now. And you could be someone who's got 1,000 points and make 0 right now. You're on your way because you've got some good activity happening. Something's happening. If you got 1,000 points, maybe you have 20 personally enrolled certified brokers. Well, yeah, but maybe none of them have got a funding yet. So you may have earned 0 so far, but you might have 1,000 points. So this rewards the right activity, which is new certified brokers, new applications to get funding. But I could tell you what, you could talk to 100 clients and not get a funding application. It doesn't mean you're not working. So this is a real leveling of the playing field because everybody had to start with new stuff while supporting their old group. I spent a lot of time with people who I don't get points from in the tournament, and I'm okay with that because I'm supporting them in their business. So, but to get points, I got to get new production, right? And so do you. Leveling of the playing field. In fact, it helps to be brand new because you have a bunch of old team members you're supporting yet, right? And you got a bunch of warm market you can approach. And so everyone you support is in your tournament, right? So it's a beautiful thing. But we've got a page at the Resource Center. I'm going to share the page. Let me just look at a couple things real quick here. Bear with me 1 minute. Okay, there it is, there it is, there it is. I never know what's open on my wall, so I got to be careful when I share screen to make sure I'm not sharing anything that's inappropriate. So let me just, or classified type stuff. So let me just close a couple pages here. Sorry that I didn't think this through prior. But if you go to the LMS, dactraining.com, and go to resources. Okay. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Don't do this right now. Let me just show you my screen. Share screen. Got to get on Zoom. Share screen. I'm going to the whiteboard in a minute, guys. That's why I'm in this room. So bear with me a minute. Are you seeing the March Madness screen?
Yes.
All right. Beautiful. This is available in the, if you're at the DAC training LMS, if you go to resources, you'll see right here, March Madness. This has got a countdown and it's got a real-time statistics as of last night. It shows how you get the points and it's got the answers right here of the top people. Let me zoom in on this. Look at this, as effective as of last night. All right. Now this doesn't count this morning, but there's your top producers right now. The top 64 get in. So Pather, congratulations, buddy. You're in first place right now. James, second place. Congrats. Ed Neary, here you go. So you can see this. You can scroll this. Now we're going to update this daily. And so there may be sometimes it'll be 2 days because there's a lot going into this. And there may be times where it just can't happen in a day because of other fires or something. But our goal is to do this every single day for you to see the top people. Now you can go look at this yourself. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I do want to show you that some of the people that you won't see on this list right now, and their names you've heard of, and some of these people you've never heard of. And so you can see what type of numbers you got there. Right now, Pather is rocking it out in first place with 1,800 points. So that's where we are. You got to be in the top 64 right now. 64 is, I'm going to guess, how many points is the top 64? 100. But look at all these people tied right there, man. So there's a lot of people with 100 points. 57th place has got 100 points. So it's, and look, there's not many. 105 is in the top 50. So this is a real liberating contest because it allows it's fair playing field. It's new production, which is what we wanted to reward. We don't know how many points is going to win this, right? Again, you may be making $10,000 a month, but have 0 points right here because the team you have doesn't count, right? And so isn't it fun? It's new production. It's new production. Your paycheck's already paying you for your old production. It's already taking care of you. So you want to go forward, focus on this. I'm going to give you a couple strategies in a minute here. as we move through. But congrats to all those people who are in that national championship list right now. Get yourself in it. All you got to do is have 2 new certified brokers. You're already at 100 points, right? 2 new certified brokers get you 100. 2 personally enrolled certified brokers gets you to the top 64 already. That's not that much. We got a lot of people who've gotten personal brokers with 5 points, but they haven't certified yet. All you got to do is help those 10 brokers you recruited. Pather's got how many brokers has he got that is certified? That's why he's number 1 right now. Now, this is what I want you to see. I talk about investment and talk about investment mentality. Before I do that, I want to give one more announcement. Tuesday night, we did the local leader training. I'm telling you, that's how I've done millions of dollars in income. What you see on there, that is, I'm not charging you $20,000 for that program, but it's worth $20,000. If you didn't listen to that, if you didn't watch that, then I would just ask you, are you that unplugged that you didn't know about it? Or are you that apathetic that you didn't care about it? But you got someone who's teaching how they've made millions of dollars in the industry, what to do, and you don't want to listen. Why even come to the broker update? Right? So I'm asking you to have determination and have willingness, because without those, it doesn't matter if we give you all the training, knowledge, success system, put a funding program in place, have the best offer available, have a pay plan that rewards you significantly like an investor is rewarded. It doesn't matter if you don't have the determination and willingness and you don't stick and stay or pay attention, or it's just David doing what David does. Okay, well, until you've made millions, you should be listening to what David says. And if you haven't made millions, you should be listening to what Ellen says. And if you haven't gotten a ton of clients, you should be listening to what Nick says. And if you haven't done a bunch of phone work, then you should be listening to what Matt says. Right. And if you haven't built an organization yet, you should be listening to what McGuire says. So everyone who's coming on there, if you haven't talked to thousands of clients about funding, when Wade Cordell talks about funding, if you think you don't need to listen to what Wade's saying, then I would just say, man, it's like having Vince Lombardi, a coach. Well, yeah, but he's not playing anymore. He's one of the best coaches ever. And the reality is Wade is playing. He's literally talking to all of our clients for us every day. You think he doesn't hear things we'll never hear? He's heard more stuff than I'd forget. He's talked to more clients than I'll ever talk to, because every client who gets a funding offer, he's the one, or him and his team are presenting it. Now it's a full team, but for a while it was just Wade presenting that offer. So literally probably 15,000 customers he talked to with funding. And he's going to get on and do a training or speak. And it's like, oh, it's just Wade. We see him all the time. Are you kidding me? We've got access to things here. You've got access to things here. And we've got people in the broker field who bring so much experience. I'm James McIntosh, the gentleman I met. The experience he got at General Motors working with people, I just hear how he talks to people. I'm learning just by watching him. I never ran a plant with thousands of people in it. I didn't have to deal with the politics of a large corporation. I've always dealt with a small corporation. Just seeing how he compliments people, just seeing how he takes into, we can benefit from our brokers. We can benefit from our Zoom leaders. We can benefit from everyone in this company. If you're not curious to benefit, I'm asking you all to be curious. This is an investment mentality. You're investing time by being here, and there's no reason to invest the time if you're not going to have conversations. There's no reason to pay attention to the business if you're not going to have conversations with business owners. And there's zero reason to have conversations with business owners if you're not going to pay attention to all the coaching and mentorship we give on these Zooms, because you're just running down a path that maybe runs right into a brick wall, right? So you may guess the right path, but the reality is we've already spent the money on ads. Don't do them. We've already spent the money on agencies. Don't do it. We've already paid to have advertisements to sponsor events. It's not worth it. We've already done all the things that you may try on your own. And we're saying, don't do it. You know what works? Be the local funding pro in your town. It beats everything. Just do that. And yeah, you can do other things too. If you want to work the phone and work out of your state, do it. And you want to email people and text people on Facebook and build a YouTube channel, do it. But don't do it in replacement of what we guarantee will work. And that's being your local leader, because you will blow away the numbers in a positive way if you focus local, focus local, focus local, focus local, focus local. Your target, this is from last week as well, warm market. That's what you want to be focusing on. Increase your authenticity and your activity if you want to win. Bring your determination and willingness, increase this. Go social, do some things, do your area local chamber events, networking events, talk to your banks. Canvas and cover an area, make a list of an intersection and say, I got to introduce myself to every business. Don't look at it as I got to get a client in that shopping plaza. No, you need to educate the business owner and get to know that business owner in that shopping plaza so that you understand their business and you can refer people to them when they need something and they want something. You need to know about it. You want to be able to refer them, but you also want them to know about your funding. So when they're ready for funding, don't look at it as I gotta do my cold marketing. That's such old sales skills. It's not productive professionalism, $1 million income skills. What you want to do is be a source of leads for that business and a source of education about funding to that business. Refer them traffic. I got an award. I don't have it with me. I got an award for my Chamber of Commerce in January, the top networker. What do you get it for? Referring more business than anyone. Didn't get the most business. I gave the most business. I referred more business to that chamber than you think the banks don't say, the dude's really here to help us. He's actually referring us people. You think the banquet center is not going, that guy's not here to try to get my funding. He's here to help me grow my banquet facility. Oh, look at that office, shared office space. They're like, wow, he's actually referring me to people. That place, wow, they're referring me to people. If you really care about the business owners in your town, help them do more revenue. Don't just help them with funding. Get to know them, have that true curious interest. You don't only need 20 businesses, 40 businesses, 50 businesses who know you care that much. And you got 4 clients next year. 10% of the people you get to know are going to want funding each year. Probably 20 to 30% actually, but 10% for sure. Get to know 50 of them, care about them, post something on Facebook, share something once in a while. And those 50 business owners will go, dude, this dude cares about me. Thank you, David, for the referral. Thank you for telling people about my decompression therapy at my chiropractic shop. Thank you for referring your sister to me to get paid. How did Morgan get her new health care? Someone I referred her to. Not health care, auto insurance. Someone I referred her to. That dude's coming up to me, dude, I just helped Morgan. She got a new car. Thank you so much for that referral. That's awesome. You know how hard it is to get referrals? Thank you for that. I've sent him 3 people who've gotten insurance coverage. Why? Because the guy's cool and he cares about people. He'll go the extra mile. You don't think he's going to send me some business funding customers when he comes across? Are you kidding me? Don't be short-sighted. Invest into your town. Be neighborly. Be neighborly. Be a good neighbor. And you'll win. So investment mentality is like this. I was just telling McGuire today, I have a new thing that every commission I earn, I send right into my investment account. If I get, it comes from Revate, then I transfer. Best thing about Revate sending to investment account, there's no max what they'll send out. You know, your Revate account can only have 75 grand in it. So once you get 75 in commissions, if you haven't sent it or moved it, you got to move it somewhere. The beautiful thing is you can move all of it to an investment account. If you move it to or to a bank account, if you move it to paying a bill or send it to a person, you're limited to 5,000 a month. So move it to a bank account. But I look at this, every commission that I earn is I think it's worth 4 times that. What do you mean? Yeah, because I'm throwing it into investments where my money doubles every 5 or 6 years. So if I made $1,000 and I throw it in an investment account and it's growing at 12% a year, that's 6 years, it's going to be worth 2,000. Another 6 years, it's going to be 4,000. Another 6 years, it's going to be 8,000. Another 6 years, it's going to be 16,000. So that $1,000 commission is really 16,000 when I'm 80 something. It's not about $1,000. It's about what's that $1,000 coming into. And guess what? When I recruit a new broker, I'm not looking at how much time I got to invest in that broker. I'm looking at that broker might turn into 100 active certified brokers producing 20 fundings a month. 20 fundings a month with a $500 average override is $10,000 a month. So that one new broker that I'm recruiting right now might end up being $10,000 a month. And that's better than owning a commercial property. I'm not recruiting to get people in to make money. I've made millions in this industry. I'm recruiting to help you make millions. The best recruit I've ever had has made about $120 million in this industry. That recruited me when he was 19. You don't think that I believe that the next person can make $100 million? I believe they can. unlikely, uncommon, but I don't give two craps about that. I'm not getting you into a thing. I'm not recruiting you to get you into something where I can make money on you. I'm giving you a lifestyle dream. If you already got it, you don't need it. I get it. But most people don't have it. The average 50-year-old doesn't even have $50,000 in the bank. The average 50-year-old doesn't have $50,000 in the bank in the retirement. What do we need to do? We need to give them something to flourish with. We need to give something for them to go build some big income with. We need the investor mentality. You're not investing an hour of time to make a commission. You're not recruiting a rep in this contest to get a 5 points. You're recruiting a broker to become a certified broker to possibly lead a nationwide agency that you override that could literally make you $10, $20, $30,000 a month. I've got about 4 legs that I earn most of my 4 teams that I earn most of my money on. In DAC, I'm paid in the pay plan just like you. I've recruited a lot more than 4. And I don't know if the next person I recruit is going to be someone who goes and builds a big group and does very well for themselves and helps make a great impact in their town or not. But guess what? I'm not buying investment properties. I don't need to. I can recruit an investment property called someone who's going to change their life and someone I'm going to help change their life. And then you got people going, well, I recruited 4 and they didn't do anything. Are you kidding me? Do you understand? If that's your case, you can't be a teacher. You can't be a personal trainer. You can't be a real estate agent. You can't be an entrepreneur. You can't be anything that involves dealing with human nature of people because 9 out of 10 aren't going to do anything. And it doesn't matter what career you take unless you're making widgets. And guess what? 9 out of 10 of your customers aren't going to reorder it. It's called the law of human nature. You can't fix it. All you got to do is learn how to be optimistic and deal with the 1 out of 10 who can and the 1 out of 10 who do. And don't beat up on the 9 who 10 who can't. Don't charge them a fee and make money on them either way. Don't recruit them and tell them they're going to get rich and make $500 on them or $300 for their sign-up fee. Don't charge them for trainings when they're never going to apply the trainings. Don't make money on them unless they make a $1. Don't make a dime. Don't make a $1 before they've made a dime. That's a model of, hey, I'm going to get mine. I'm going to get mine. Well, I did that when I was younger too, because I didn't know any better. But eventually you feel guilty about getting yours. And you say, you know what? I'm not getting mine. I'm giving who I am to them. And if they can make 100 grand, I get to make 20. And if they make 0, then I make 0. So let's put your rubber where our money where our mouth is. I'm going to bust my butt to help you because I believe some of you are going to do very well. And guess what? That pays me just fine. And I believe some of you aren't going to do well, but I'm not going to make money on you. You all can, most won't. That's okay. We cycle through them. We've had 70,000 people join our business. 7,000 did their free renewal. That means 63,000 didn't even do a free renewal. Of the 7,000 who did the renewal, 2,400 are certified. That's it. It's free to get certified. That's our business. And you still can make $500,000 off 2,400 certified brokers. So don't worry about how many are doing it and not doing it and who's doing it. I can tell you a fake story that, yeah, we got 70,000 active people. No, we got 70,000 who won't even open their emails. And I'm okay with that because I didn't make money on all of a sudden. Well, David, you should have charged them all $20 a month. I mean, come on, look how much money. Yeah, and I wouldn't be able to recruit another person because the odds are they won't make money and I'll make 20 on them. I don't want to live that life. So investment mentality, what's this about? This investment mentality is David Rutz on a rant because I'm seeing the state of our brokers. I'm seeing the state of America. I'm seeing the ones that of our brokers doing very well and how they look at things. And there's an optimistic investor mentality. They don't stop recruiting. They don't stop talking to clients, and they don't get beat up when someone doesn't do anything, and they don't get beat up when a client doesn't get funded. They understand. Some will, some won't. So what? Next person. They understand that. And it's not that they don't care. It's not that they're apathetic. They're optimistic. They're like, it's okay. It's like when you're panning for gold and you get a tray full of sand and you're shaking it and you're shaking it and you're shaking it. You're optimistic there's going to be a gold flake in there and you're shaking it. And look at that, there's no gold flakes. Okay, okay. Dump it to the side, a new pan, and you shake. Oh, look at that little flake. Look at that little flake, dude. Look at that little flake. There might be more where that came from. And when you find more where that came from, they become a vein of gold. You get a person who does do this, they build it's called a leader. That'll be 1,000 active brokers for you 5 to 6 years from now. 10,000 who have joined, 1,000 active. And if that's just doing 100 fundings a month and you're making 500 each, that's 50 grand a month. Do you see? Don't think about this as a job. Don't think about this, what am I making this month? If you do, get your income somewhere else and do this on the side. Do this part-time. This can earn you more in 4 years working part-time than you could ever make graduating from a professional degree. You're going to get out of your college degree after spending $400,000 or $100,000 on education. Maybe you're making $70,000 a year. Do this part-time for 4 years. Do it though. Really do it part-time for 4 years and see if you're making $70,000 a year, and you won't have to go to that job to get that 70 grand. You won't have to worry if that job lays you off. You won't have to worry about, you've got it. You've got it right here. I can tell you this, that last company I had to sell had a sales organization in it. They all still get paid today. I didn't sell them to a home to get me mine and screw all them. No, we put them in a position where they would keep getting paid. That's why we sold in the first place, was to keep their opportunity. I had to lay off some employees, but I did not change anything for all the sales reps. They're still getting paid today, 17 years later. So you don't have to worry about what happens if DAC this or DAC that. DAC this or DAC that, you're protected either way. You've got an agreement that you get paid on all your clients. You get paid on all your team. That survives any acquisitions, buyouts. So we got your back. My family, this is my family business, right? And so you think they're all here because they want to make a little bit of money now? Or do you think they're here because they're like long after dad's gone? Long after David's dead and some of our leaders are dead, this business is going to carry on, and we're going to keep that integrity. Herbalife, the founder died years ago. They're a $1 billion company today, carrying on the same thing as Herbalife. It's a nutrition company, doing just fine. Mary Kay Ash, Mary Kay passed away. Pink Cadillac, Mary Kay Cosmetics, they still carry on her legacy today. Don't think for a moment this only survives as the owner survives, because guess what? The owners are all of you. We are a team. I don't have anything without all of you. So investment mentality is, I got to build now for people because my organization, my team agency is my value here. My value comes from the size of my active agency. And if I got an active agency, I was able to sell that last company for a lot of money, and I still get paid overrides on that every single month. And all those leaders still get paid on their team years later, 17 years later. So you're building something here. Your organization is your asset. Well, David, I don't want to build no problem. You can be a solo broker. You're self-employed. You can do better here self-employed than any other company out there where it's self-employed. We just allow you to build an agency. And why wouldn't you have that investor's mentality to say, and I'm going to end with this. ESBI. Employee, self-employed. Business owner, investor. This side, employee and self-employed. You trade time for money. You have to produce. You go out and you give up part of your life as a salary. You get paid a salary. You give them 40 hours a week as an employee. You get paid well. It's all can be good. You have a base level of income. You can lose it at any time. It's never guaranteed, but it's usually pretty good. Employee. Self-employed, you get paid commission on doing something. If you're an electrician, but you're yourself, you get paid as long as you're taking care of customers. You're a DAC broker. You get paid every time you get a funding, right? You're self-employed. You're a salesperson, or you're marketing a service, right? But you got to trade your time for money, because you don't have, this isn't making you money. You're self-employed. You basically bought a job. You employ yourself. Employee, employ yourself. Self-employed, employ yourself. saying the same thing. You're not free, because if you stop giving time, you stop earning money. You stop working at General Motors, you no longer earn at General Motors. You stop being an electrician, you don't earn as an electrician anymore, right? So this is the world's economy. This is what colleges teach. The left side of the quadrants, they tell you get a good job, get that good degree, get a good job. Nothing wrong with it. It's a lot better than getting a bad job, right? Not having a college education. Fortunately, today, a lot of people can earn as much or more without getting a college degree, because there's a lot of businesses who say, we don't need your college degree. We'll train you ourselves, or we'll give you a trades or something else. So this is very good as building a stable income. But business owner, the difference is a business owner is someone who's got a system. They call it an income producing asset. An income producing asset. I don't mean assets like in accounting class, that widescreen TV is an asset according to the government and accounting rules, but that TV makes me nothing unless I'm watching YouTube channels and getting educated, right? Or watching DAC huddles, right? It's making me nothing. It's costing me money. Cost me money to buy it. I earn no revenue for it. Now, if I was advertising on that and people were walking by paying to watch advertising there, now it's an income producing asset. So unless you have, your house is not an asset. It is according to the IRS. I get it. But unless you've rented it out, it's not an asset. It's a liability. You got to spend money every month to have it. Even if it's paid off, you got to pay taxes. It's good to have it, but it's not an income producing asset. It doesn't make you rich. What makes you earn income? What the people on the right here, investor and business owner, they're not trading their time for money anymore. They're earning money because of their asset, whether it's investments in stock, investments in real estate properties that are income producing, investment in a business that's producing money. If you've got to be at that ice cream shop to make the money, you're not a business owner. You're self-employed. You may have 10 employees, but if you're not there, you're not getting paid, then you're self-employed. Once that ice cream restaurant can pay you whether you're there or not, and you kick off some income producing cash cow, now you're a business owner. This is the mentality. Obviously, according to the IRS, you're a business owner as soon as you join DAC. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the cash flow quadrants, the concept, the philosophy of how to set yourself up as an investor mentality. Investor mentality means you're setting yourself up to earn on your time invested long in the future, not just today, an hourly pay for an hour of work or an hour of salary pay for an hour of work. That's not investor mentality. That's retail spender mentality. I'll spend an hour, give me an hour pay. I'll spend an hour, give me an hour pay. I'll spend an hour. That's not the mentality to set yourself financially free. You can save and you can win with that model. I'm not disparaging it. You should have a guaranteed paycheck before you start your business. But if you really want to set yourself up financially, you know what you do? You invest an hour, and even if you don't make a dime right now, if you're investing an hour planting an apple tree, then one day we'll be making apple cider or selling apples, and you're going to be own an apple farm, then you don't care that you didn't make a dime on that apple tree seed planting today. You invested your time into a future farm, future orchard. Same thing with this. You invest your time recruiting a broker, you don't earn a dime for it. You invest your time game planning with it, you don't earn a dime for it. And you're not going to earn a dime if they don't produce any revenue, but that's okay, because eventually it might be an apple orchard tree. That one broker might turn into 5 brokers and 10 and 50. And maybe one person down in that team is going to be a superstar and go out and produce 20 fundings a year themselves and have a team that produces 200 a year themselves. And you're getting $500 on 220 clients a year, $110,000 you earn a year because someone in that apple orchard is rocking it out with 20 fundings a year. It's only 1.5 a month, and then has a team doing another couple hundred a year. It's not like, oh my gosh, they're a top rock, they're rocking. They're doing well, yeah. But you're not worried about the 19 the seeds that didn't turn into an apple tree. You're worried about finding the one. And so that's an investor's mentality, and that's the mentality you want to have to win here. That's what got me out of General Motors in 1991. Someone showed me how to have the investor mentality that every person I recruit could become like a high rise. I always wanted to own my own commercial real estate. And then I realized the risk behind it. And what do you earn really? Well, it's worth a lot one day. Yeah, I get it. But you got to work 70 hours a week now taking care of that commercial, and you got all that risk and liability. How about just build an organization of an agency And someone showed me that when I was at General Motors. I'm like, man, I'm giving up an hour of my time for an hour pay. They call it a salary, but it's still hourly pay. It may be more than I was making at the bowling alley. You money every single month, whether you're working it or not. You money every single month, whether you're working it or not. Do you have that vehicle yet? And the average way, the best way to have that vehicle, they say, is real estate. Well, how many people own a bunch of real estate doing income properties or have the ability to do that? Most people can't even buy their own home, right? So how about our industry is the best way to have an income producing asset. You don't have to buy a house. You don't have to have LLC liability insurance. You don't have to worry about the hot water heater breaking down. You don't have to worry about someone tripping and falling on the sidewalk that you didn't shovel. You don't have to worry about the rent being paid. You don't have to worry about someone coming along and have a recession, a tree fall on your roof. You don't have to worry about a tree falling on a dog in the backyard and you're sued because the family pet was killed. You don't have to worry about any of that. All you have to do is invest your time into building an agency and not being caught off guard that a bunch of them won't do anything. And that's okay. We didn't charge them money. And if you can have that investor mentality, you will get rich here. You don't allow yourself to drift away from this. You don't allow yourself to be talked out of it. You don't. And you know what? You think David Rutz is a little fanatical. You get to. I'm okay with that. I'm unsold on what's traditional way of getting successful. I'm sold on loving what I do. I'm sold on believing what I believe. I'm sold on sharing what I believe and finding those who believe what I believe. And when you do that, and when others did, it doesn't have to be DAC, find your thing. DAC is my thing, and DAC is thousands of other people's thing. Is it yours? I don't know. But if you want it to be yours, we can rock and roll together. And so this becomes a team. And all of a sudden you have 100 active brokers. And those 100 brokers are doing 30 fundings a month. Yeah, 70 of them didn't get it this month. Next month they'll get one. But only 30 did. But you're making $500 each. You made $15,000 this month. Income producing asset. You know how many homes you have to have? About 150. Do you want to have that many homes? The average home, you only make about 20% of the rent you're charging. To clear 15 grand, you got to be charging 5 times at about 75 grand in rent. You know how many homes you have to be able to manage? You know how many homes you have to take care of to make 15 grand? Or you can just get 100 brokers in your agency who are producing 30 fundings a month. And these 100 are going to turn into 1,000 one day, and 30 is going to be 300. And you can't stop the bulldozer from rolling once it stops. You're not going to stop Ellen Wynn from growing a team. Sorry, even if you're her enroller. How do I know? Because her enroller quit. She didn't. Well, but what about, and that person's enroller quit. Ellen didn't. And that person's enroller quit. Ellen didn't. I didn't recruit Ellen. You know how many Ellens are in your team in the future, the butterfly effect, but you got to start it. You got to have the investor mentality and say, I'm going to recruit some brokers and I'm going to help some clients and I'm going to keep doing both of those. And the rate they come in, they come in. I'm not worried if I don't do a funding this month. I'm going to do the right behavior this month. I'm not worried if none of my brokers rock and roll this month. I'm going to give the right behavior to them. I'm going to invest into them, invest into clients, invest into them, and let the outcome be the outcome. I will be an example, and the outcome will be the outcome. That's an investor's mentality. That's how you make millions in this industry. It's so easy to make $500,000 a year in this industry. So easy. It's just a lot easier not to. And it takes mental toughness and it takes optimism and it takes every one of these prerequisites. And you got to know those. And you can know every one of these by Sunday night. Every one of these you can know in 4 days. But I can't instill determination and willingness. But hopefully this discussion will say, you know what, nobody's taught me I should invest my time into an income producing asset that makes me money down the road. They always did, but I had to buy a program or I had to go to a real estate class and I had to no money down and I had to buy some vending machines and I had to buy some ATM machines and I had to go find some this and that. Listen, all of those things work, but if you got to pay to learn how to work them, the business owner's really making money teaching you the system instead of just living the system. Nothing wrong with it, nothing wrong with it, nothing wrong with it. But I kind of am partial to our model that says, I won't make a dime until you make a dollar, and I'll teach you and teach you and teach you. And so will all of our leaders. You know what Nick DeHame makes to do a huddle? Zero. You know what Matt DeHame gets paid to do a huddle? Zero. You know what Ella makes? Zero. You know what McGuire makes? Zero. We don't, well, you know what I make? Zero. We don't get paid to be a paid speaker for our company. We do a national event, pay our trainers zero. That's how we can charge so little for the events, just to cover our costs. So I don't know how many people are here. I'm not too concerned, to be honest with you. I'm not too concerned with if I've gone a little long, because you don't know what I know. I'm saying what needs to be said. And if you think I'm going too long, you've probably never built a large organization and don't believe everything I'm saying needs to be said. And the fact of the matter is, it does. It's true. It needs to be said. It needs to be understood. And until it's understood, I won't keep recruiting people. I won't keep talking to clients. I won't have the willingness. I won't have the determination. But as soon as I catch this fire, as soon as I believe it the way I did when I was a General Motors employee, I was on the fast track at GM. When I told my dad I was leaving, he was saddened. He knew the fast track I was on. He knew that I could probably get to his level in just a few years. They took me under their wing and they were giving me great stuff. But you know what? I caught this. And it wasn't called this. The book didn't exist yet, called Cash Flow Quadrants. If you haven't read that yet, get it, Cash Flow Quadrants. Get it. By the way, in the book, he'll say the best way to go from here to here is called network marketing, where you can build a team. What are we talking about building a team? We're not a network marketing company, but we allow you to build an agency. Why is EXP the world's largest? Because they finally said, let's let our agents build an agency. Why is Keller Williams one of the world's largest? Because they finally said, let's let our agents build an agency, not just the brokers. Why does real brokerage blow away Century 21 now? Where is Century 21? Why do half the people leave Caldwell Banker and join EXP? Because they could build their own agencies. It's not rocket science. It's kind of common sense. We're doing it in business funding. No one else is, but someone will one day. Someone will one day. And we need a moat around us. You need a big, massive organization around you. It's going to take them a long time to catch our funding. They're going to have to make a lot of mistakes, lose a lot of money. And you know what that means? I know we spend $900,000 a year on fixed costs to keep this business open. They're going to have to do that too. And they're not going to do enough fundings to do that and pay commissions. So there's no way they're going to be able to be free. That's why you see companies out there. It's only $500 to start your own brokerage. Okay. Why are you charging $500? Because you're not making it on the funding. So you got to make it on the fee. It's hard for me to recruit 100 brokers when I know they all got to pay $500 and 95% are going to lose the money. I would stop recruiting, wouldn't you? Yeah, but that one could make it, Dave. Yeah, but I don't want to recruit 10 more to see if I find the one. Because those 9, I got to see them at birthday parties and I got to see them at the coffee house. And I don't want to talk to them about the 500 they lost or even know it. So I'll just stop recruiting. I want to see you win this year. I want you all to make 6 figures this year. It's very possible for every one of you this year. $1,000 funding average, override, 100 fundings in your team, $100,000. Well, David, I'm not making 1,000. Okay, $500 override, 200 fundings in your team. I know you got to climb the ladder, got to get some clients yourself. So you're making the 50, 60, 70%. But you also have the 5-level pay. Investor mentality, have it. Have it in every conversation you have it in every broker you recruit. You're building for this. And if you're not building for this, you're giving up your life to make a paycheck. Even if you're a DAC corporate employee, if every one of our corporate employees, we say you can build an organization, every one of them can. They don't have to, but they can. Because if they don't, they're busting their tail for right here. And they never get this. And if they quit working next year, we've had DAC employees come and go. They don't get paid from DAC anymore. I can leave tomorrow and I'll get paid from DAC forever because I've got a big sales organization that does overrides that I'll get paid on. I built it. I deserve it. I don't plan to go anywhere. but my time at corporate office is less and less and less. And every one of you have the same opportunity I do. Why not have a couple thousand certified brokers in your team? And why not earn $400 to $500 override on every one of them? You got to build it. And if you build it, they will come. So investor mentality, I had to spend more time on this. I used to do this every Saturday. I don't talk about this much at all. Some of you are going to get wealthy with us. All right, let's go to your questions or comments. Championship, you do all this, you're going to win the championship too. There's going to be some cool things for that. Check in those numbers every day. That's rewarding the people who are investing into their business to try to get to here. And as I told McGuire today, sorry, I'll end with this. As I told McGuire today, every commission I get, I think I mentioned it earlier, every commission I get now that goes to my Revate card, I send to my investment account. I don't even use it. I don't need it. I invest it. And it's $1,000 commission at 12% growth in the stock market means it doubles every 6 years. It's called the rule of 72. Whatever interest rate it's growing at, divide that into 72. That's how many years that 1,000 takes to double. So all of a sudden it's worth $2,000 when I'm 64. Well, that's not that much. Yeah, but at 70, it's worth $4,000. Well, that's not that much. Well, at 76, it's worth $8,000. And what if this is 100 grand instead of 1,000? Oh, 1, 2, 3. That's 800 grand it's worth. Because it went from 1,000 to 8,000 or 100,000 to 800,000. So, and if you're only 20, don't allow yourself to just do this. Make a good salary, get it. Get yours. Get as much salary as you can for every hour you trade, get as much as you can. But nights and weekends, do what I did when I worked at General Motors. And at lunchtime, I built my business. In the evenings, I built my business. And on weekends, I built my business. And 4 months later, I did not need General Motors. So, but I'm telling you, there's not a person I knew that worked it like I did because I was getting out of GM. Determination and willingness. So you can do it too. Here, keep your job. 4 months, work this part-time and have 100 brokers producing 50 fundings a month. And you're going to be making plenty more than a job will pay you, and you can leave that job. All right, let's go to your questions and comments. Anybody have questions or comments?
Ray, you can unmute yourself.
Hi, Dave. By the way, this was a good Zoom this afternoon. I do have a couple questions. So the book that you mentioned, The Unsold, what is the author's name?
Got to look it up. It's 2 authors. It's on my phone. I'm going to have to look it up real quick for you. It's
Okay.
got it on Audible. I don't have a hard copy. I have it Audible, The Unsold. Bear with me. I'll give it to you in 1 minute.
Okay. And then I know you just mentioned about Revate, and you said that the most that you can get into that account is 75,000. So if you make 75,000, let's say you made 80,000. So the other 10,000, would they send you a check, or do they transfer?
No, you just move it out. You move it out beforehand. So you can make more than 75. It's just that account is limited as 75. So you just send it to your Comerica account or your Chase account. So it's not that you can't have more than 75 in deposits. You just can't have more than 75 in the account at any one time. So you'd have to have a savings account somewhere else.
Okay, so that money, okay, so you can have more than 75 in the Revate account, is what you're saying?
No, you can't have more than 75 in the Revate account, but you could earn $500,000 this year. You could earn 10 million this year. You just got to move it once it gets to 75 grand. You got to send it to another bank account somewhere.
Okay, so will Revate transfer the rest of that money to another account that you have?
You transfer it. You transfer it yourself.
Okay.
They don't. What'll happen is you'll get a notice that, hey, your account's at its max. You got to move some money somewhere else so the money can appear.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was trying to understand. Thank you.
Yep, you bet. And the author is Colin Coggins and Garrett Brown. Colin Coggins and Garrett Brown. I'm taking a screenshot of it right now. In fact, I'll do a link in the Amazon Amazon, a link to the Amazon book to buy it. But it's the unsold. I'm going to put it into our Facebook. Am I still sharing my screen?
You are not. I'm going to go ahead and unmute the next question though. While you do that, David, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for this Zoom, very informative. I just have a quick question. I'm sort of new to the organization, work in my warm market, and unbelievably, one of my buddies joined this organization back in 23. Didn't have the local support and sort of fell to the wayside, and now he's inactive. Can I send him the link and bring him back on under me?
Yeah, he'd have to be canceled. So inactive is a status we have that means you haven't renewed, but it's been less than 6 months. After 6 months of being inactive, you're then canceled. Then you can join under anyone you want.
Okay, so just verify with him how long he's been canceled.
You got it. As long as he's been inactive, he became canceled after 6 months, he can rejoin under you, yes.
Perfect. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Welcome aboard, by the way.
Yes, sir.
All right, Ellen, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
David, I love it. Guys, I just had to come on here and say that everything that David has shared with us today is what had me hook, line, and sinker when I first saw this opportunity. In fact, I had this hook, line, and sinker when I first saw this business model back 25 years ago. And I believed that it was possible. So the first thing you got to do is believe that what David is telling you is the truth. And I can testify it is 1000% the truth. But you've got to have the belief that you can do the things that David just shared with us. I love it that you told my story that my enroller quit, my enroller's enroller quit, and I don't have an upline. I don't need an upline. I have all the training and tools that I need, and I've got the best mentor in the industry in you, David Rutz, and all I got to do is follow what you teach, and it's the things that I learned years ago in the very beginning because I had some great mentors back then, but it's all factual. You're going to earn most of your money from overrides on a team if you build a big team. I've told the story before. I got started on day one. I recruited someone, and at the end of my first 30 days, I had over 300 agents in my DAC team because I got fired up on day one. I decided to go get it. I brought some other people in that decided to go get it, and my team continues to multiply. My income continues to multiply. And you can do this. There's nothing different from Ellen Wynn and any of you that are listening to this today other than my determination and my unwillingness to quit. I will be here as long as I am breathing. I'll be a part of DAC because this is the most incredible home business opportunity in the country. I know I see Chris on here. Chris has been involved in MLM before and shared with me that he's been a secret agent after I've did my secret agent training. And, that's one of the things that sets DAC apart is because we're real business services and we're not some product that somebody else can come in and create. We're offering something that is top line. We've got the best system with it, really taking good care of our customers, and we're in a unique place. So in the B2B services world, we're in a unique situation there. So there's no one on here that should be ashamed of what we have to offer because we really are offering a valued product in the marketplace. And it may be that make it or break it opportunity for that small business owner that you encounter. So thank you, David. I appreciate you every day in this opportunity, and thanks for the opportunity to share.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you so much. You're a great leader for the company. Many of you don't know this, but Ellen probably sends me 3 to 4 emails a month of an error she'll find or something she'll say that we should be thinking of this or that. So a lot of the leaders get on here and praise us. And we need to praise them as well, because without them, we don't have the teams. But also there's just only so much we can do. And it's our leaders in our field who are just as valuable or more valuable than a high paid consultant from the outside, because they're living it every day. Ellen sees every day what it's like to work with a new broker. So she knows what she'd love to see for those new brokers. She brings suggestions and ideas regularly because she's in the field doing the thing. So when we hear from her, it's not like some attorney is saying, hey, you guys should consider this, or some CPA, you guys should consider it. It's someone who's living it loud and saying, we should do this. We give, we're like 80% yes before we even finish reading the email, because we know if she's asking, it's because she's already vetted all the different things. So we've got that coming to us too. AI is smart because it's always learning. Well, guess what makes us smart? We're always learning too from all the feedback from all of you. So keep the feedback coming. Thank you, Ellen. Who else we got, Morgan?
We've got Orlando. You can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, David, how are you this morning and afternoon?
I'm doing great, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing great. First off, fabulous tip here. I just learned something new. Revate 75,000 is the maximum, and you take it and sweep it into your investment account. That's my goal. I literally wrote that down. I'm going to build 75,000 in my Revate account in commissions earned, and I'll take that max and sweep it into my investment account, because here I am. DAC is my long-term play because it's my retirement. I'm building residual income. I'm building income that's going to not only give me the lifestyle I'm looking for in retirement, but I also look at this as a legacy business. I want to build it so that future generations can benefit from the labors that I'm putting in today. So I love that tip. 75,000 is the max that you can get. That I have that written down as a focus point to say, hit that number, sweep that money, and repeat. So I just want to thank you.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. I want to thank you. That's a wonderful idea. Thank you.
I love it.
Well
Love it. And you know what? Don't wait till it's at 75, because your money's compounding when it's in investment accounts. So I, on a monthly basis, sweep the money out. And 75 is the max, but some of you don't want to invest all your income. I get it. Some people, this is their source of income, so they need to keep some of that or pay bills from some of it. But the beautiful thing about compounding interest in the stock market, and don't worry about if the market goes down, just hold it. It's going to go back up. It grows 12% a year over time, right? So if you sell and try to guess the market, you may be real good, but the odds are you're not, and you may break even and pay capital gains. Just hold it. Just buy and hold, and don't worry about it. Buy good stocks, have a good financial planner, and you just put it in, you forget it. And, if you bought a bunch of stock and it grows up 50% in 1 year, yeah, don't get too excited. It may go down for the next year, but then it's going to grow up again and grow up. It's going to do the 12% a year, so maybe 15% a year, maybe only 10, but it's going to double every 5 or 6 years. So move 15 grand out a month into investments instead of moving out 75 after 10 months, right? And make yours and make it rain. Get to this side is the bottom line. And you can't make that kind of money as a solo broker without being super worn out. I mean, it's hard to get 10 fundings a month. That's hard. You may get it. You may have a system that does it, but that's a lot of work. And to be able to make the type of money here, when you have a sales organization producing 50 fundings a month and their whole team, you're going to earn more than having 7 or 8 fundings yourself. So is this why we do this? It's common sense. But it's not common knowledge, and it's not commonly practiced. It's easier to quit than to build it. Don't quit, build it. Who else we got?
We've got Carmen up next. You can go ahead and unmute yourself, Carmen.
Hi, David. I just wanted to say I just love getting on your update calls, because you are so fired up. Just turn me on. I just love it, because then I can go out there, and I feel like it's like a Russian roulette. You don't know if they're going to say yes or no, but you have a better outcome. You're not going to die. It's just wonderful. I love this. Thank you.
Amen. 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 Some are going to do it, and it's okay if some don't. We're not making money on those who don't. Thank you for the compliments. Go get it, Carmen.
All right. And last but not least, we have Harlequin to finish us off.
Hey, David.
Hey.
I just want to go and give a huge shout out to my team member, Lynette, who had the funding story of the day. She and husband, Tom, have been working so hard despite all of the physical or health challenges that Tom has had. And
Yes.
the two of them went out to Home Depot together, and we're talking to business owners.
With
But
their little flyer, yes.
yep, but they are such absolute joy to have on my team, and I'm so proud of them. And I know that they're going to have a whole bunch more fundings going forward. And they've also been recruiting through all of these challenges that they've been having. So
Yes.
wanted to give a shout out to them.
Very proud of them. And I wasn't certain that was Lynette and Tom's. I didn't want to say anything about, and she's been going through stuff too, but they found a way to do it anyway. Thank you so much, Harlequin.
Yeah.
Let me bring us home with this then, everybody. I wanted to talk about this today. I talked to McGuire about this before our Zoom, before our huddle. I wanted to talk about these quadrants and this investment mentality. So now where the rubber meets the road is we're going to part. And when we part, I've got on my to-do list today, new warm market lists that I'm going to reach out to this week and say, you should consider becoming a broker. And this could become a agency for you. And I'm looking for leaders who want to help support local markets. And this can become an agency for you. It could be you and 2 or you and 3, but you can get paid off all the fundings of your agency, not just your own personal. And we're making a massive impact in our community, helping them when the bank can't. And the bank can't help 90% of them. And I'm just wondering if you might be open to being a broker. Obviously, you don't say all that. You say that your own way, the way you want to say it. But I've got on my to-do list, reach out to more warm market and talk to warm market means people who know me in my local town. I'm not running a Craigslist ad in California. I want brokers locally who want to work with me locally, who want to serve locally. And it may be White Lake, Michigan, which is 10 miles up the road. And it might be Heartland, Michigan, which is 15 miles up the road. And it might be Waterford, Michigan, which is 30 miles up the road. It doesn't have to be Milford, Michigan, where I am. And we've already got a couple brokers. It just needs to be nearby so I can meet them and greet them and inform them. And we can together serve that marketplace, and we can help them have their own agency and literally escape a job, escape restriction and retirement, because they're earning more in this business. If you're making $5,000 a month, divided by 8, let's say you're making $8,000 a month. It's like having $1 million in your investment portfolio, taking out 8. No, that's only 8%. That'd only be 80 grand. So $6 grand a month is like having $1 million investment. 20 fundings at 500 a piece is like $100,000. I'm sorry, 10,000 or 120,000 a year. That's literally like having $1.5 million in the stock market. What's easier to get to? Save $1.5 million or build a team that's producing 20 or 30 fundings a month? I think the answer is pretty simple. So make your list, call your list. Let's get some brokers going for next week. God bless you all. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next week.